giving you the real surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with your host, Skywalker Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to the Skywalker Morning Show. We're streaming live on YouTube, and of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker. Still, boom! Woo! Cowboys training camp, baby. It's back, which means I'm back. We got week 1 coverage. They're taking a little break today, so I wanted to rap to you guys about what's happening out there at Oxnard. Plus, we got my brother from another Vach, Lombardi, joining the show at 9:45 to give us his trench takeaways, some other camp takeaways. Plus, I just want to kick it with the 100-grand man himself, my bro Vach, man. Just what an unbelievable accomplishment that is. So we're going to give him his flowers today, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, we got some house cleaning and roundup, some injury updates. And I want to talk a little bit. I won't go too long on the Diggs situation, but we'll talk a little bit about it. And then, y'all, just want to wrap to y'all. It's been a while. Call in 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. Y'all know how we do. How we feeling, man? How's everybody doing? Cowboys training camp is popping, right? We got a lot of video footage out there of some good things, but got to be careful right now without the pads. But either way, I ain't going to lie. I'm getting caught up in the Kool-Aid. Not necessarily like Super Bowl Kool-Aid, but maybe an individual, maybe a unit, maybe a specific part of offense or defense. But it just got to all come together. It just has to all come together. 3 practices in. We got a lot to talk about. I've got 5 or so things we'll discuss more with Vosh. We'll discuss more with you guys. So like I said, man, call in, man. Big A said, we feeling good until the pads come on. I'll feel even better when the pads come on, man. Straight up. I'm going to feel even better when the pads come on. But yes, it's still some things you can't take away from training camp without the pads. I said this during OTAs, right? Like the running back in the trench situation. I feel like you have to watch it a little differently. And that's why we're going to talk to Vosh, because I feel like we kind of eye to eye on how we watch those things out training camp. I hit him up last night. I said, man, I really wish I was there, because I remember when we did training camp together, just the way we were observing training camp I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, man, I'm ready for the pads. Straight like that. But let's get into this roundup real quick, because I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys publicly about some of the shenanigans. Now, I'm not going to go into the crazy opening presser, all that. I'm over those opening pressers. They don't let the coach talk enough, in my opinion. When he did talk, he had some good things to say, but I'm over what the Joneses have to say, to be honest. So if you guys want to delve into that, you can call in and talk about it. But I want to talk about what one of the players said and give some updates on that.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time. It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
If I can get a chance to talk to you. So, first day of training camp. Jerry Jones had some things to say about Diggs, didn't he? Didn't like the way it went down. And neither did Diggs. We all were wondering why he was or wasn't at the facility during his recovery. Me personally, look, man, if it works for you, take care of what you got to take care of. And we saw Micah back him up during their joint press conference or what have you. But listen to Trayvon Diggs' explanation on the treatment. He said, quote, "They do a great job here," talking about the Cowboy staff. "I just felt like it was in my best interest to go somewhere to get the full undivided attention I needed." Before I keep going there, just that part. He's basically saying no knock on your Britt Brown and all the others, but I can get full attention 1v1 by going to my guy in Florida. I'm not mad at that, because as we've seen over the last few years, the Cowboys training facility, it's not that it's a bad facility, it's understaffed. And the Cowboys have a lot of players that are injured and need treatment. So he decided to go get some treatment elsewhere. He said, "To better and further my career, to make sure I'm good ahead of schedule, and that I can perform well. Like when I tore my ACL, I came back a whole 2 months earlier because of the work I put in during the off season, off the field." Now, that part right there is where things get a little muddy, because that, in my opinion, the way he decided to go about the ACL stuff, that is probably why Jerry has an issue with Diggs, because he did not attack the rehab in the manner that he should have. And that's been pretty much confirmed across the organization. I don't think there's a fight there. He said, "Work is going to show. What I put in is going to show on the field." Look, I'm not mad at Diggs for doing what he has to do to better his career from a health standpoint. I do hope it works, though, right? Because something that we don't have enough discussion about with Trayvon Diggs, and ain't got nothing to do with his play. I think on the field, when he's there, he's a very important part of your defense. He's going to be a very good cornerback for you. But what we kind of overlook is that he's almost an injury-prone player. I don't know if I want to put that crazy label on him just yet, but he gets injured a lot, y'all. You know, whether it's fluke, whatever it may be. And it started his rookie season. If I'm not mistaken, he's been injured more seasons than he has not been injured. So, yeah, you know, how he gets treated, how he recovers is extremely important. And if it means going away from the facility to do so, I'm mad at it. But he did get docked. I'm not going to say fined. He got docked to $500,000. He said he was surprised about it. Maybe he wasn't reading the room. You know, I wouldn't have been surprised about it. If you heard how Jerry was talking about him last year in regards to the process and recovering from the ACL and whatnot, he wasn't happy about it. And then not coming to the facility, he wasn't happy about it. So maybe he just didn't read the room enough. I don't know. I'm not in Diggs' head here. However, getting fined that amount seems like it put a bit of a chip on his shoulder. You know, he's talking about how I'm going to make it back up in incentives, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of fans, and we'll talk about it here in a second, y'all seem to think that this could spell the end to Trayvon Diggs moving forward. I had this conversation with 2i and others. This is a big year for Diggs, not just on the field, because I think if he's playing, he's going to play well. But in gaining the trust back from the front office, because drafting of Savon Ravel, we'll see what they do with Deron Bland. I think it's fair to say there is question marks up top about his future here. I think it's fair. Straight like that. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it, but I think it's fair. Speaking of injured players, injury-prone players, really, I love the Marvion Overshown, man. I really hate that he's not going to be on the field to start the season. You couldn't tell, though. We're going to show a play later on in the show. You couldn't tell that he's not on the damn field the way he's moving out there when players are getting interceptions and whatnot. But he's still finding ways to stay involved, and you just love to hear that. I think it was Shotty who said, this is the quote right here, "Attack is the right word. He's attacked his rehab from the beginning. He pushes everybody he's training with. What's really cool is you're going to see him spending more time with Flus because he can't practice, but he can still learn, including radioing some of the plays." And we've heard many a times about I'll call it leadership aspects, the intangible aspects of DeMarvion Overshown. On the field, unbelievable talent. Off the field, maybe even a better person and player. Straight like that. So I've said this to you guys many times when I first dove into the Marvion Overshown and who he was as a player in person was, man, this guy's just going to figure out a way. He's just going to figure out a way, and usually I will be way more pessimistic about a player returning from back-to-back ligament injuries like this, ACL, PCL, MCL. Something different about this cat, man. I don't know what it is. I hope he can find a way to stay healthy, though. But you love to hear that he's still finding ways to keep involved here. And once he gets back out there, it's going to help this defense immensely. Other injury notes, Terrence Steele, he was out yesterday, held out for precaution, some ankle situation. So hopefully Cuzzo can get going. But we're going to talk to Voch a little bit about some of these backups getting a chance as he's out. And then Deron Bland and Kenneth Murray are both out, or were both out yesterday handling some family business. They're about to have kids, which it feels like every training camp there's some kids being made. They're on the same damn cycle on this Cowboys team, man. Every training camp we got somebody or multiple players, and this is not, I'm not complaining. I just think it's funny how every single summer, hey man, my wife about to have a kid, man. Gotta get up out of here. I feel you. Go take care of them kids, man. Go see that blessing. As a father, I definitely understand that moment. All right. So there you have it. Some house cleaning. Again, I'm not going to go too far into the Trayvon Diggs thing. He's out there now. There's a chip on his shoulder. I feel like he understands he has something to prove. Probably more so to stay on the damn field, to be honest, because he keeps getting hurt or he has issues, et cetera, et cetera. I think this is a big year for him. It's a big year for him to remain on the field and regain the trust up top. All right, let's get to some of these notes before we get Voch in here in the next 10 minutes. One of the things, and look, maybe you can call me biased, whatever it may be, because I've been big on this offense, right? I've been big on wanting to see if what Shadi was saying and what I believe this offense was going to be is true. And honestly, I didn't need training camp, because if you guys go watch the Sky and 2i show, it has shown to me in the OTAs that this offense was going to be different. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have not checked out the Sky and 2i's latest episode, we had the queen of the NFL, in my opinion, Mina Kimes of NFL Live on ESPN, joined the show. An absolute banner moment for me, an absolute banner moment for the Sky and 2i show. It was one of them ones, Still hasn't really hit me. I forget who I was talking to the other day. I was just like, yeah, it ain't really hit me. I just kind of been putting my head down and getting to work. But man, what an amazing opportunity. Shouts out to my wonderful co-host, 2i, aka, or Aisha, aka 2i. Make sure y'all please go check that thing out. It was fantastic. It's on the channel. But back to this offense looking different. Aisha pretty much confirmed that. And I was shocked how little coverage it was getting in OTAs, because the start of training camp is really a carryover of minicamp. I'm sorry, OTAs, minicamp, whatever, but it's a carryover of minicamp to begin. So it's not like they're doing anything different. But now, we're hearing a whole lot about, motion and this and that. And I love it, because y'all know how I feel about it. But listen to Brian Schottenheimer talk about not wanting to be static. And y'all just know that was music. That was music to my ears. But man, if you like ball talk, Shotty's your guy.
Yeah, I don't like to play static. I think, being static as an offense makes it easier on the defense. These defenses, you listen to our defense out there, Clarence, the way they communicate is elite, and so if we just line up in a certain formation, we kind of let them see things. It's easy for them to not only make their calls, their closed right or left calls, moving their front, setting their fronts, but actually there's tendencies. Everybody goes into a game defensively with tendencies that in this personnel grouping, in this formation, based on where the back is, I'm making up 70% run and 30% pass. Well, really good linebackers and really good defenses that communicate well, there's tells. So when you shift or change the picture or you motion, it helps disguise that a little bit. And then, of course, when you're using your motions, they're very different. Your motions make them adjust on the run. Shifts, they generally can, what we say, reload the front. So if you shift, the defense can reload. But when you motion, they can't because you're snapping the ball on the run. So we have those. We like those. Right now we're playing around with some of the ones that we believe that we'll use. But we change them up pretty regularly.
Man, it's just so much goodness right there. You know, when I talk about, you know, shifts and motions and disguising, et cetera, I'm talking about it in layman's terms. You know, he dropped that thing so detailed and very well detailed that even the lowest of low casual football fan can go, that's why XYZ. And that's why you go look at some of the best offenses in the league. They do these things. And the frustration of not doing these things last year or the last, 4 or 5 years. It was extremely frustrating. And I've said this many times. A few years ago, I actually, brought it up about how I believe the motions and creativity we did see was because Shotty was saying, hey, this is what we got to do. But it wasn't his offense. Now this is his offense. And I don't think this is going to be a gimmick. This is who he is, what this offense is going to be. And don't get it twisted. I don't think it's going to be just for window dressing and just to be finesse. It's going to be with intent. And if you're day one here, you know one of my sayings, dribble with a purpose. You don't shift just to shift. You don't run just to run. You don't pass just to pass. There has to be a purpose behind it, some type of setup or this is the intentionality for this game, for this series, so we can do XYZ later, right? All of this really feels like dribbling with the purpose with this offense. And it's going to help the defense. How many times, at least in the Dan Quinn era, we go up against one of these Shanahanian type offenses that do a lot of shifts and motions, and we just struggle with it? I'm not saying all of this is because of practice, but I think if you practice against it more often, you may be better prepared against it on the field, right? Like, the Cowboys, and he said the word static for a reason, because the Cowboys had a static offense. Last year, I think they ranked bottom third or something like that in motion plays. And even again, when they did motion over the years, I call it lazy motion. You'll see CeeDee Lamb just start on the left and just jog to the right, stop. What's the point of that, in my opinion? Just keep them there. But intentional pre-snap, at-snap motion, we did our Atlanta Falcons breakdown last year. And again, I'm going all the way back in the bag here, but forgive me for those who are new. Shouts out to you. We did our Falcons breakdown last year, and I came on here and I said, man, one of the things that is so obvious here and important to take a look at is the intentionality in how they're motioning. Every play, these guys are beelining across. They're flying. There is no just jogging here. They're moving with a purpose. So every play looks like, hey, man, he might get this jet sweep, or he might be the guy, or this is an important motion. In reality, I'm just trying to draw you this way so I can go right behind you on the other side. I'm not out there. We'll talk to Vash here in a second. But from the clips I'm seeing, it looks very intentional, and the players are loving it. And another thing that I really liked, what Shotty said in one of his in the presser was, quote, "We're going to be multiple. We're going to be under center. We're going to be in shotgun. We're going to run the pistol. We're going to run some wildcat. We're going to be very difficult to defend." Shotty, come here, Shotty. Give me. Look, y'all. It's just words. Although he putting the words on the field in actions, it's just camp. Y'all can say Sky, you're getting too excited. I'm sorry, man. This is I'm not familiar with this. I'm not familiar with this. How many years have I been like,
I'm trying to see what that be like right there. Look, be that.
trying to see what that be like? You know what I mean? I want to see what that's like. We're going to be multiple, but two things stick out here. And not the Wildcat. Everybody ran wild with the Wildcat. Like, all right, whatever. We'll do some Wildcat. That'll be fun or what have you. They try to say, hey, Shotty, who's going to be a Wildcat guy? Shotty said, man, I ain't telling you who that's going to be. But the two things that stuck out in this quote, we're going to be under center. In order to have a dynamic play action passing offense, you have to get under center. You just have to. I've said this many times. You don't even have to be a dynamic run team. You get under center and your how matches your intentionality. Like if you are under center and you are showing wide zone, you're showing some GH counter play action stuff, that's naturally going to draw in the linebackers. That's naturally going to draw in the second level. You could be averaging 2.1 yards per carry. You know, it's just instincts. Now, if you are an elite run game, it's going to be even better. But just the idea of running more real play action excites me. And then when you do run, allowing your running backs to get a runway and see the lanes develop, especially in this version of what I think this run scheme is going to be, is a plus. And then the other thing in that quote was the pistol. We didn't use this enough. If you're going to run out of shotgun type of formation, I'd rather run out of pistol, because you are now still giving your running back a little bit of a runway as opposed to, you know, a standard shotgun. The running back is offset to the quarterback, same level, handed off. He has no runway. He's just taking it, and now he has to take steps as opposed to getting downhill and getting the rock. The pistol allows that, and I think it's a bit of a cheat code for quarterbacks who are not the Josh Allens and Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jacksons of the world. And I'm not saying Dak is handicapped in that way, but if you go back and you look at Kirk Cousins last year in Atlanta, they implemented the pistol heavily because he couldn't go under center due to his ankle situation. And that didn't affect their run game. Their run game was still a quality run game. So just seeing that we're going to be multiple, and not just multiple in the formations, but multiple also in the plays. You go look at Clayton Adams over in Arizona. They ran a number of different style of plays. The Cowboys ran like 3, just that's it. Over there in Arizona, they ran about 5 or 6 different types of plays, whether it be wide zone, inside zone, power, toss, all types of things over there. So that excites me that this offense is going to be multiple. This offense is going to have the shifts and motions. You go look at my Jake Ferguson breakdown. I talk about there a number of different times how that is important, not just for the run game, but for the pass game and for a guy like Jake, man. Straight up. So how we feeling about Shotty as we wait for my guy Vosh to call in here? He's trying to find a spot, make sure, you know, they can get out there cutting grass. You got the service and be crazy out there. You know how it is, man. You know how it is. Reminds me of Detroit, says Joe Mama. Yeah, I think, you know, you're going to get a lot of, like I said, Kevin O'Connell, Ben Johnson, McDaniel, Shanahan, LaFleur, like McVay. This is the type of offense we're going to get here. I truly do believe that. Jose said Joe Milton Wildcat. Well, it wouldn't really be a Wildcat then. Yeah. The whole point of the Wildcat is not to have a quarterback for Wildcat. If I had to guess, this would probably be the littlest Wildcat ever, but Kevontae Turpin at Wildcat will be. Has anyone ever been that small running a Wildcat? Usually it's a legitimate running back, but who? Maybe Blue because he's bigger. Maybe Blue. So Professor O said Lamb. That's what I was thinking. However, and you keep Lamb out there with Pickens, and then whoever the Wildcat, the defense can't really cheat. You know what I'm saying? The Wild Kitten with Kevontae Turpin. Pop Water League says C Knicks. Yo, that's the smallest Wildcat ever. Deuce Staley, yeah, he's a regular running back. Deuce ain't 5'9", 160 pounds. He might be 5'9", 200, maybe 2+. Deuce was thick. No diddy. The small purr. The other Sky, I'm gonna call him the evil Sky. He said Turpin's RB1. I sure hope not. Yeah, T-Jack, the wild kitten gotta be. If Cavante Turpin is the wildcat, it's the wild kitten. Hey Turp, how you feel about it being called the wild kitten? Yeah, man, I don't even know, man. Feel like, nah, I'm just playing. I don't want to do that. Shouts out to you, Turp. Hey, Vosh, we ain't never gonna get Turp on the show. I'm just letting you know that right now. I'm just letting you know that right now. Oh, phone line, bro. Phone line. He said send the link. I didn't know you was trying to come in through the yada that I mean. Yeah, Cowboys Nation, stick around. We got Vosh Lombardi joining us here in a few minutes. Want to talk to the 100-grand man himself. Turp said, check my rap sheet. Turp talk like how he run. Hey, I do think Turpin is remorseful for the arrest and whatnot. I do appreciate that he's taking accountability. You know what I mean? He's taking accountability for that. You know, I look, I lived in Dallas. I'm not advocating to speed. I'm not. But man, I saw on Twitter there's like, but he was doing 90 in a 70. You tripping about that? If that's the case, boy, they lock me up, throw away the keys. 90 and a 70 in Texas? In Dallas? You ain't drove in Dallas, fam. That's all that is. You ain't drove in Dallas. Now, you can't be out there with the yada and the mean and the gun. Hey, bro, tap into the phone line. All right, got you, bro. I appreciate it, brother, coming through. Look, we did the shows over there. 645 is yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, anybody in Texas, I'm not tripping about going 90 into 70, 75, whatever it is. That ain't 90. Somebody said 97, whatever. I don't give a damn. That's in fact, I can guarantee you this. The cops didn't care about him going 90 something into 70. They didn't care about that. They don't care nothing about you speeding in Dallas. Not one iota. But you can't have the Yamin with the Yamin in Texas. You just can't. Can't do it. Joe said that's all of Texas. Hey, I believe. I was only in Dallas and the first DFW area. That's all I've been. But I believe, man. Straight like that. Drum said, am I wrong? All right. I'm just saying. And I was only there for 4 or 5, whatever it's been, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. Let me get this number over to Vach. Let's see here. Golly, we gotta get my boy up in this thing. Think 5. I think that right there. Yep. Camo said that's the whole South. Hey, I take y'all word for it. But anyway, yeah, Cavante Turpin, I think is probably going to be the Wildcat guy. You know what? It might be Sanders too, though. It might be Sanders. If he can regain some of that confidence that he had in Philly, I can see him being the Wildcat guy. No doubt about it. In the meantime, in between time, let me talk to 240 as we wait for the GOAT, Vosh, to come through. What's good with your 240? Hold tight. Hold tight, 240. We got my bro on the horn, man. It took some time. We figured this thing out, but what's good with you, fam?
Master William, let me tell you what happened, my boy.
What
I thought
happened,
you wanted
fam?
the visuals up there like the old days. So what I did
I
was I
got the
found me a little spot over in the over in the media section. I even got the backdrop of the field being worked on. I was like, oh yeah, still gonna appreciate this. And you was just like,
no,
call the
dog. Just
phone. I'm like,
call in, dog. I just call in. I know how it is out there at Oxnard. I ain't even trying to play around with that, you know. But what's good with you,
it's
fam?
all good, my boy. Man, you know what I'm saying? Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool. Just doing the work out here. Focus on the things that's out here happening, trying to be intentional about what we researching and putting out. But I just can't complain, man. I can't
No.
complain. Just like you was out here, a couple of years ago, you was out here with an actual purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do the same thing. That's all.
You are. And before we get into Cowboy stuff, man, I'm sorry. I know you just head down. Let's get to it. But you gonna get these flowers.
100 points. That's 100 grand.
That's 100 racks, bro. Come on, man. Hey,
10 bands, 50 bands, 100
Flames
bands.
in the chat for Vach hitting 100K. Bro, I'm so proud of you, fam. Like, I'm hugging the mic right now. We've been talking about this for how many years, yo? How many years? We said, you gonna hit this thing, bro. You gonna hit this thing.
For a long time, bro. We've been talking about it for a minute. It was always the mission to, get the 100 and get the actual button in our hand. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm just waiting on my button. Ain't no telling what's gonna happen when I get the button. I'm chilling now, but when the YouTube pack hit the mail, ain't no telling what we're gonna do, my boy. But appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish, but you're gonna get these flowers, bro. But all right. Back to ball.
You know me, man.
I know you. I know. Trust me. Y'all don't know, but when that plaque come in, bro, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
It's gonna be special. It's gonna be special.
It is, man.
I'm gonna take it everywhere for about a week and a half. You know how it goes.
I already know how funny you're gonna be with it. So look, I was talking about the Cowboys' offensive scheme and the things that's changing, right? And I mean, none of this works unless the O-line is right. And I had retweeted one of your tweets, and I was like, look, man, between Adams, between Riley, the scheme change, I'm confident this thing is going to improve. But the tweet I had retweeted, I like how you brought up that it was Connor so far leading the charge and kind of the hands-on day-to-day operations down there.
Yeah. Man, just looking at it, Clayton Adams seems to be the guy that's over the whole operation. You know what I mean? Seems to be that way. So like, if you had to categorize it or something like that, Clayton might be like I'm putting the run game together. I'm putting the sauce together, and he's going to Riley and be like, yo, Connor, like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. I always go back to the first hint that we got from this thing is Tyler Booker got drafted. So we had his audio. He talked to Will McClay. He talked to Jerry and Steve and them. And then he talked to Coach Clayton, right? And he was like, what up, Coach? Coach say, hey, man, ready to move the line of scrimmage? He said, yep, duo and all that. And just based on some of the drills they've been running, like, they've been focused on that. They've been focused on moving bodies, but not just moving them, but the nuance of them. Will Steele, me and you talk about this all the time because you're O-line guy. There's a super emphasis on, after we've moved the body, we've got to take care of the linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not just moving bodies just to move the bodies. So I'm down there an individual watching this with my eyes. Every single drill that's tied into moving bodies, at the end of it, there's a linebacker that needs to be found at different angles, different leverages. They're working on sealing the linebackers up. So I would have to believe if every drill and individual got something to do with moving bodies and blocking linebackers, I would have to believe that that's really what they want to do in real life.
Yeah, and that's something that, I mean, you could probably confirm this as well, but over the last few years, getting to that second level has been inconsistent, to say the least. And even when they've gotten there hasn't been many dudes that stump. Going all the way back to Biotish, right? Like when Tyler Biotish was here, he wasn't getting to that second level and thumping guys. BB can do it, and I thought BB started to do it the more comfortable he got. Tyler Smith obviously can do it. Zach started to tail off a little bit with it, but he knew he had to know how to get there. I just didn't think they were intentional with it. They were good with it. But it seems like they are really honing in on the duo and then get to the second level as their kind of staple.
Well, we'll still think about this, and here's some secret O-line talk, right? When you're comboing people and you have to go get the linebacker, it's harder to go get the linebacker from stalemating, right?
Mm.
Like if we're doubling a one tech and we don't get movement, now I got to go from the line of scrimmage to the linebacker. That's a long way to travel. Now, and I'm just watching practice, and Paz ain't came on, but it's not denying the fact that bodies is moving. The interior moving guys now. So if I'm moving guys actually getting movement, let's just say that we move a one tech 2 yards downfield, 3 yards downfield. Now I got to get, now we have an opportunity to get the linebacker from 3 yards away from the line of scrimmage. So even just being more powerful, we may not be the most athletic group, but being more powerful will help us get to the linebacker, because it's almost like we're taking the one tech to the second level with us. When I was an old center, when I was learning about combos and all this kind of stuff, coach always told me, when in doubt, just pick up the lineman and drop them on top of the linebacker. So when I'm doing film sessions, I'll just say that sometimes, and it sounds like a joke, but that's real. If we don't know what to do, just take the one tech to the linebacker. Tyler Biadasz wasn't powerful enough to take somebody to a linebacker. If you're comboing with like a Brock Hoff and TJ Bass, something like that, they're not powerful enough to take a one tech to the linebacker. Book and Smith and BB them are capable of picking bodies up and taking them to the linebacker. So if I had to guess, I think there's going to be a lot more linebackers blocked this year.
Man, you've been really detailed about Tyler Guyton's progression, and I'm using that word because it seems like he has progressed in some of the technical things that me and you were talking about when he got drafted. We're like, hey, man, I mean, there's obviously a ceiling here, a high ceiling for him, because he's an athletic guy. He can move. He has the size, but there is a rawness to his game where, what's the saying? I don't know what to do with my hands. And you saw that a lot.
Yeah.
There was a strength factor, et cetera, et cetera. And if you guys go watch him on, I believe it was The Break, the way you broke that down, they need to clip that up. But kind of give us the I don't want to say layman's terms, because I would hate to dumb what you said down, but kind of talk to us about what you're seeing in Tyler Guyton's progression from a technical standpoint.
Well, the first thing that Guyton has to do as an offensive lineman is like figure out what his tools are. Every offensive lineman, we have to figure out what our tools are, like what our good tools are, and then we have to deal with working with our bad tools to match the rest of them. So there's one cheat code that you can use at offensive line that can kind of cover up the rest of your bad tools, and that's being strong as hell. So if you're Tyler Smith, he may have some bad tools in the shed. And look, you watch that famed Tulsa film I watched. His tools were ridiculous, but one thing that bailed him out was being strong as hell. Like he had that in his back pocket, and being strong as hell is like a hammer or like a wrench. Like it's one of your more important tools. Tyler Guyton didn't necessarily have that tool. He got fantastic movement, but he still has to deal with, the opposite side of that coin. So you could be able to move well, but that doesn't mean that he was good with his hands. That doesn't mean that he was good with his feet. Take a guy like, Bakhtiari or something. Bakhtiari wasn't the most powerful guy in the world, but his hands and his feet were always in the right place, so he was cool. Take a guy like Tyron Smith, who was strong as hell, and his hands, his feet were always in the right place. He had nothing to worry about. He didn't have a damn thing to worry about. We've seen blocks from Tyler Smith to where his hands may be in the wrong place. Like his hands may be on somebody's shoulder, and the other hand would be like on their elbow or something. But he's so strong he can block people from there. What Tyler Guyton is he had to figure out where to, what to do with his hands, figure out what to do with his feet. Then he had to switch it to the opposite side, which is left tackle here in the league. And just because you move well doesn't mean that you know what to do once you get to your landmark. So he had a long road to get to just to get to this point. But what I'm seeing now, and clearly pads aren't on right now, but I'm not talking about Tyler Guyton pushing and mauling people. I'm talking about Tyler Guyton just not leaning. I'm talking about Tyler Guyton punching people in the right place. I'm talking about Tyler Guyton moving and getting to his landmark and things of that nature, right? So just from what I've seen from just the small technical tool belt things that he wasn't good at, Tyler Guyton is miles better than what he once was. Now there's another element that's going to come to this thing once we put pads on, is Sam Williams' ability to put his head in your chest and run through you. That's something else that Tyler Guyton has to prove to himself. But when you have technique you can deal with a lot of those physical challenges. You can be stronger than me, but if I place my hand exactly where it needs to go on your outside shoulder, you're going to turn. Physics is going to make you turn. Physics is going to make you stop moving. You may be more powerful and imposing than me. Tyron Smith used to grab people by the neck, Will Steele. You seen that film. What you going to do when somebody grab you by the neck? Physics is going to make you stop. That ain't even him being strong. That's just him dealing with your body from, pressure points, and you just stopping moving just because he's hitting you in the right spot. So Tyler Guyton's hands, they aren't quite Tyron Smith, but they are much, much better than they were at this point last year in camp and the end of Guyton's campaign, like in week 17 and all that, than it is right now.
Man, that's major. And I don't got the button for you, but I'll do it. Did you hear what I said?
Don DeMarco.
Yeah, man, that was fantastic breakdown. And that is, to me, one of the number one things. Look, power and stuff. He's in knee bend. You talk about that. You mentioned his height, his length. That can be difficult, and all that's improving as well. If Tyler Guyton can year 2 just be serviceable, right? That's going to help this offense immensely. If he can be beyond
also,
that,
too,
oh my gosh, come on.
Yeah. Also, too, just to kind of give people a visual here, you can go to my social medias, Twitter, my X or whatever, right? And I have a bunch of clips of Tyler Guyton because I'm hyper focused on him. Like Tyler Guyton used to be a catcher, and look, this ain't got nothing to do with pads, right? But Tyler used to catch people, you know what I mean? Like he used to let people in his body and catch them. You can actually see on my clips he's striking people now. He's punching. He's throwing his hands now. Bad habits take a long time to get rid of, so he'll still do some things here or there, but you could still see the progress in what he's doing. So if you go to my social media and just look at my Tyler Guyton clips, you see him striking, which is a far cry from where he used to be. You know what I mean? So if you need a visual, go to my Twitter. It's all up there.
Watch somebody on Twitter, y'all, who's joining us live, man. My brother, listen, Nate Thomas is getting a lot of love from this staff, and I was a big Nate Thomas fan coming out as one of those day 3 guys that maybe could develop into serviceable backup. He's 6'5", 335, strong as an ox. Did some tackle things in college. Could play some guard. They got him out there. I think at one point he was running with the 2s, and then obviously we seen him at left tackle running with the 3s. And Shoddy brought him up. They seem to really like him. And they didn't bring in a true veteran swing tackle like they usually do. So I was thinking maybe it was a battle of the Bucks between Austin Richards and Nate Thomas. What are you seeing from both of those guys? Nate, who's getting a lot of love from the staff, and Austin, who I really want to ask you about him because I've seen a couple clips and I'm like, man, did he put on weight or something? He seems a bit slower, but again, I'm not out there seeing every single play, so that's why I want to talk to you about it.
Yeah. So I don't think the Cowboys are taking the swing approach. I think they're taking the sided players. As far as their inside guys, like Brock Hoffman is a swing everything guy. Like he's really valuable. So he's going to be left guard, right guard, center. But as far as the tackles and guards, really they're sided players. Think about we were watching draft and we drafted Cornelius from Oregon, right? He was a right tackle the entire time, but the Cowboys drafted him as a guard. But out here, he's kind of playing tackle. That just kind of tells me, okay, so it's sided players. So Tyler Smith, left guard, can play some left tackle for you. Cornelius, he's a right tackle, can play some right guard. Right now, he's playing tackle. Last year, Nate was a guard. You know what I mean? And he was a right-sided player. I mean, he was hurt a little bit, so we really don't know nothing. But like he's showing up today as a left tackle, but he still got that guard DNA in him. So I can imagine that he's doing that. Austin Richards is a guy that's guard and tackle. So just from what I'm seeing, I think we should look at it as sided players and not like swing guys. So and just a quick note, well, let's go playing guard. So
hey, hold on, Voch, hold on, because I got that. I have that lined up. I told myself, I said, dog, if I was out there at camp with you, I just know how we are. We would have saw Walesko's ass trot out there at left guard, looked at each other, and just start busting.
We've been cackling. We'd have been cackling. This guy, I was cackling. Look, I was laughing, and I was telling people around me, and nobody got the joke. I was like, hey, man, that ain't Walesko at guard, is it? And they was like, yeah, that's him at guard. And I was like, why y'all don't think it's funny like I do?
Yo, tall
Big old,
ass out of here.
big tall ass. Well, get your ass and go, boy. So you just know what's next for Hill Scott.
Let me
But anyway,
y'all don't understand how much we on the same page with these things. Vosh brought that up, and I literally got
We
here
right
to make
here,
sure
man.
I ain't forget it. I'm like, I gotta ask him about this Walesko thing, but anyway, continue, my boy.
Well, you know what's next. You know what's next is that. Yeah, go on right now. Yeah. So sided players. Even though I've only seen Nathan at left tackle and Richards at left tackle. So in J2 I was out here. Day one I didn't really see too much of it because I was really focused on just whatever else. But Austin Richards was with the second team at left tackle, and Nathan was with the third team. I did notice he was at left tackle, but I was like, all right, cool. Nathan's the third guy, and Austin is the second team guy every time. So I thought it was like wide open for all right, cool, Awesome here, and he's not moving. But day 3, Austin was with the third team, and Nathan was with the second team. So that seems like a real life competition that we need to be keeping eyes on. Nathan Thomas is very vocal. I didn't you don't really know about these guys, because they got the helmets on. You don't really see a whole bunch of them. But Nathan Thomas out there talking crazy to the defense. He's out there celebrating with his running backs when they go score. Like he was a lot more, he was a lot more vocal and movie and celebrating and talking crazy than I would imagine. So shouts out to Nate Thomas there, just me noticing him. He's still got the body of a guard. He's a big old boy. But he's doing just fine to tackle, but it's all about like matchups, right? So when Nathan Thomas is with the twos and Donovan Ezaraku is out there, I mean Donovan whooping everybody. So Awesome and Nate getting whooped. But when Nate's against like Tyrus Wheat, when he's against, some of the other characters, like he's fitting in fine with those guys. But I'm gonna have to guess that when it comes down to preseason games, that's when you're gonna get the real, competition evaluation on those guys. And the same with Awesome. I really wanted Awesome to like take a big step to be better than Nathan. And look, he might be. We're still breaking this thing down. But it's like when you watch Tyler Guyton's beating Sam a lot of the times. He's beating Peyton Turner every time. You know what I mean? But those guys are winning reps versus Awesome and Nate Thomas or whatever. Marshawn Nealon's winning reps against those guys sometimes. So it's just something to keep eyes on. I'm whispering because the players' weight room is right next to where I am, and I don't want one of these motherfuckers to be in the weight room and I'm talking crazy about it. You know what I'm saying? So I want so like while I've been talking, they've been playing music over there, so I'll just be talking, but the music just cut off and it got real quiet. And he just hear me say Donovan been kicking his ass, even though it's true.
Let's stay right there real quick, because I know damn well. You know what? No. We want some of them to hear you. You said that a couple weeks ago. He was like, "Man, I hope Tyler Guyton heard me talking about he need to be better," and he might have, because he clicked that follow button real fast and said, "Wait a minute, man, I had to jump in his inbox and keep talking that shit."
He sure did. I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say good job, bro.
Hey,
I loved you the whole time, bro. You did great.
Let me shift gears real quick, so you don't get that. I mean, when I'm rolling up on you, 6'8" dude. We laughing out with Lesko. You see, country 6'9" lanky guy rolling up on you. Nah, we don't need that right now. All right, watch. So let's switch gears.
I think I can take Will Lesko.
You going judo sweeping? Take his legs out.
I'm gonna chop block his ass. I'm gonna do something to get it. You know what I'm saying? Get him off. Get off me.
Well, let's go. Come out. Hey, buddy. I heard you discussing me.
Hey, pal. I'm gonna tell the authorities. You don't need to be here.
Security, who's this do-rag wearing?
I'm gonna have a word with him. He doesn't need to be. Who is this? Who is this guy?
Oh man.
No. Shouts out to Walesko, man. He's a hard worker, man. I just think there's a lot of guards that's about to make it real weird out here. What's my man that came from Miami? Rob Jones. Rob Jones, that's his name. Yeah. He's actually a dude out here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go too crazy, like whatever. But he's actually a guy out here. So like TJ Bass need to keep his eyes open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Guard Walesko need to kind of keep his eyes open. You're asking about tackle too. let me just say this. I actually have a report for you, Will Steele. Yesterday, Terrence Steele wasn't at practice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He had like a foot ankle situation. I got from one of my sources that they said Terrence is going to be fine. So I don't know exactly what going to be fine is, but it sounds like we avoided disaster there. You know what I mean? It may be a small tweak, it may be an aggravation that he might have to sit out a little bit and he'll be fine. Right. But we're just gonna Terrence will be cool. So I think that's fantastic news there. But just a note, when he wasn't practicing, Hakeem Adeniji was the first right tackle out there to take his spot. So when you was talking about veteran tackle earlier, I think that's him. That's Hakeem Adeniji. We're not just gonna go to the rookie Cornelius there. Yeah. So that's just a quick note on there. Terrence is fine, and the guy up is Hakeem, and he looks solid. He has some good size on him. He's a veteran, and he's got his man body on him, so he seems good to go for now.
If I'm not mistaken, he played in the Super Bowl, so he's got some starts up under his belt, and that could be as opposed to a vet swing tackle, just your vet right backup type of tackle.
Yep.
Let me switch sides though, if you will, and stay with Donovan Ezraku, who just keeps flashing, man, and popping and what have you. This we knew coming out. His tool bag was crazy, right? He had a deep bag of pass rush moves. I thought his get off was good, but Vach, that play yesterday, has it been like this? And if you guys don't know the play I'm talking about, he beat Tyler Guyton. I mean, he beat everybody off the damn ball, and he was not offsides. And he gets in the backfield for a would-be sack. Dak scrambles. Malik gets the pick. You see Agent Zero running down. That's why I'm saying he ain't hurt. No, I'm just playing. But he's doing well. But has Donovan Ezraku's get off and just the hype with him in general, is it as advertised out there at camp?
It's advertised, man. It has been that the entire time, bro. Thing about Donovan is Donovan's savvy guy. So, he has the get off, and when he's able to whoop people with just get off, he will, right? So when I say awesome, man, Nate Thomas, he's getting on those guys. Actually, I think it's apparently clear because he was running with the first team yesterday. Now the first 2 days, hey, you the rookie, we got to treat you like the rookie, and you're gonna come out here after Sam or after Peyton Turner, or especially after Dante. And look, Mike is not here, so that makes sense. So at first he was coming out with the second team, but dog, he was putting hands on Nate. He was putting hands on Awesome. It wasn't nothing they could do with him. So yesterday he was with the first team, which is Tyler Guyton, which is why you have to be a training camp analyst with purpose. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when Voch notices that Donovan Ezraku is running with the ones and Tyler Guyton is different from these other guys, I need to pull my camera out right now and take some videos. I need to get some clips because we need to evaluate what this is right now. And what you see with Donovan, and I think I captured it pretty well. I put up 4 videos. Donovan has been beating everybody with his speed and his bend and his get off, right? So the first few plays or so that he tried that on Guyton got the feet to match. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Guyton was hold my beer. So Guyton was in good position. But Donovan being the savvy guy, and I think that's important that we make note of this, right? Donovan ain't just a rookie that's gonna run down the middle of you. Donovan is a guy that got 16.5 sacks. He got 20 tackles for loss. He had 60 pressures. 60, not 16.
Crazy.
6-0 pressures in college. You know what I'm saying? In 1 year. That ain't his whole career. That's 1 year he got 60 pressures. So he's a savvy pass rusher right now. He may not be the most nuanced run defender right now. He's solid, but he's not the most nuanced run defender right now. But as a pass rusher, he's good to go right now. He said, all right, cool, Tyler Guyton, you got feet. You going to get me with the feet? Now I'm going to get you with my burst, but I'm going to set it up. So now we're going hop, step, club, then burst. And it was all seamless. You know what I mean? It was all. So you can go to my page and see it. But if you go to Todd Archer's page, Todd Archer got an angle to where you see the ball get off for real. And that ball get off paired with the hand usage, he flew past the dude with the best feet on the team, and it would have been a sack on Dak. You know what I mean? Yeah. And in training camp, they normally say, hey, look, just throw the ball anyway. Hey, just get the ball out. So Dak will still throw the ball, or they'll still do their thing. But in real life, Donovan over 3 days, Donovan got 7 sacks out here.
Yeah, and earlier, we heard about Dante Fowler getting busy. We know Sam Williams is making waves out there. And this is all without Micah even being there yet. This pass rush, man, I think it's going to be unbelievable. And if he, and this is kind of what I said in my, not state of the union, but in my rating the draft, if or when, really, because he's a smart kid, he's a hard worker. I think it's going to happen at some point. When he becomes a guy that is down in, down out, dependable run guy, he is clearly going to be the running mate with Michael Parsons for the next 4 or 5 years, opposite of him. And that's going to be a dynamic duo, man. A different type of duo, right? Because we haven't seen two, I don't hate to use the word elite yet, but I'm sorry, man. He's got them type of tools from a pass rush standpoint. But two juice rushers as starters.
Sure.
We haven't seen that in Dallas in a long damn time. And if you get them two out there, designated pass rush situations, end games, what have you. Oh, by the way, Dante Fowler might be out there. The 5-man rush type situation. It's going to be tough to deal with, bro.
Well, think about this, guy, and I've said this on, various shows. I haven't said it on yours, so I will say it, but I'll say it a little different because your show is the shit. You know what I mean?
I appreciate
it.
So,
a couple of years ago, that second to last Dan Quinn year, the Cowboys were second in the league in sacks, right? They got like 54 altogether. Think about that year, Scott. It was Michael Parsons leading the way. He had 13 and a half, right? Dorrance Armstrong was the second guy with 9.5 sacks. Now, Scott, let's be real. It was 8.5. Dorrance Armstrong ain't 8.5 sack guy because his last year at Washington he was like 5 sack guy. But when you eating off of Michael, you tend to get more.
Yeah.
But that year, Dorrance Armstrong had 8.5, and Tank Lawrence was like the third guy with like 6 sacks, right? Think about that group of guys. You know what I'm saying? Tank Lawrence is a really good run defender, but he's not a pass rush guy per se. Dorrance Armstrong, good body, good rotational dude, but he's not a pass rusher per se. Even Dante Fowler was on that team. And look, Scott, we'll always say, damn, dog, why don't we get Dante involved more? I have no idea how Dan Quinn is in charge here. Dante doesn't get the looks. Dan Quinn is in charge at Washington. Dante gets all the looks, and
Right.
Dante is a double-digit sack guy all of a sudden.
Man.
I don't understand how that works.
Come on.
It's some Illuminati shit going on with that, but like Dante Fowler is a double-digit sack guy at heart, so he's gonna be the number 2 guy here. Scott, if you just put your thinking cap on and football math ain't absolute or whatever, right? But if you imagine that it's Dorrance Armstrong versus what Dante Fowler is now, or Tank Lawrence as a pass rush, as a pass rusher versus Donovan Ezeraku. I like our guys now, and that's a team that was number 2 in sacks, and they got 54 of them, Scott.
Yeah.
So if our offense does what it's supposed to do, it puts up points and make other teams have to throw the football. I don't see why this pass rush group can't be better than that pass rush group.
I think it is. I mean, I think it is better than any pass rush group. The one you can maybe argue, right, is when Randy Gregory was here. Because RG, but he could barely stay on the field. But that 2021 team with Randy Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence, obviously Michael Parsons rushing the passer. That was a really damn good pass rush unit. But I think you got more dependable guys. Guys who are going to be out there. Yeah. Gregory was a bit undisciplined. I guess Sam Williams is too. But this is just such a deep unit that if this offense can give them a lead, like you said, and they can pin their ears back, it's curtains. And if you don't mind, one more here for you, I want to stay on the defensive line. And the best way to be able to pin your ears back is one of 2 ways. Talk about it for years, right? It's either get up by a lot or enough, right?
Yep.
Or stop a team from running on you. And we know that's one of the questions that this Cowboys defense is going to be facing all season is, can they stop the run? Basically, schematically, because I don't think they really addressed that situation. Now, I guess they get Toia in the draft, but from a veteran defensive tackle standpoint, they didn't bring in multiple guys that have been known to do that. So it's like, I bet going to need Mozzie Smith, right? Mozzie's going to have to be a guy. Toia's going to have to help, because I get run defense, Vach, is a collective team effort. There's no doubt about it. But you need someone to anchor the run defense, and an anchor is usually the middle of the defense, right? It's usually a defensive tackle that helps anchor that. And when it came out the other day that Mozzie Smith was down to 300 pounds, Vach, I was floored. I was floored, and I'm now at a point where it's like, I think it was Greg Ellis who said it. They're switching to a scheme that does not favor him. I don't understand that. I mean, I understand the scheme switch because I'm not changing my scheme for Mozzie Smith, right? Matt Eberflus knows what works, but I would have said, dog, put that weight on. We're going to make you do one-tech things. We're going to make, react, clog up lanes, allow linebackers to roam free, as opposed to trying to get upfield and be a three-tech, one-tech type, because get off is not his strength. But anyway, I'm done rambling. Your take on Mozzie Smith, basically being a three-tech masquerading as a one.
Well, Scott, we have to think about, certain things we have to think about. We have to think about, okay, well, the interior offensive line is going crazy right now in camp. Is that because we're going crazy, or is it because Mozzie 300 pounds? Like we just got questions. I'm having to put my thinking cap on, Scott, and not low hang fruit it too much. So what I came up with, and this could be BS, this could be nonsense. You do a good job of calling me out if it's nonsense, so please do. But I think if the Cowboys required a constant presence of 340-pound guys, I think they'll have multiples of them. But they just kind of got Jay Toia as a 340-pound guy. In my mind, the fact that they haven't gone to go get another 340-pound, like just sign, the Cowboys have signed any like some dude we never heard of that's like a cool player in the league, but we don't know him. Like they would have signed somebody by now. But Jay Toia is the only one that's in that 340 range. So when I go out there, Scott, and I see Solomon Thomas in A-gap with the first team, or I see Perion Winfrey out there in A-gap, or I see Mozzie out there in A-gap, I just think that this team scheme, and I hope I'm wrong, I just think that this team scheme is going to rely on us being quicker in A-gap as opposed to being heavy in A-gap, so as opposed to letting linebackers run free because we got this big one tick that's taking up double.
You said, let me call you out. So let me rebut on that. That's all fine and dandy. That's all fine and dandy if they brought in those type of defensive tackles to play opposite of Osa Digizua from a one-tech standpoint, right? That's not Mozzie Smith. Mm-hmm. Getting upfield, that's not Mozzie's game. That's Osa's game. That's Toia's game too, honestly. Like Toia has a get-off. Like his film shows that was never a question at UCLA. That's not Nate, but Thomas's game. And you don't I don't want to harp on the weight. Hold on, I don't want to harp on the weight, Vach. You don't have to be 340 to be a run stopper. You can be 310. You can be 315. You can be 305. Who cares? You can be a good run stopper from technique and know-how. I don't think Mozzie consistently has either of those. So if he doesn't have that, maybe he will in year 3, whatever. Then he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit this scheme of what you're saying and penetrating and getting up A-gap. That clearly from both coaches, right? Coach Zimmer said this is not what we want him to do because that's not what he's good at. Coach Ellis said this is not what we want him to do because that's not what he's good at. And then this is what he's doing. So I'm just concerned, man.
No, look, you ain't wrong, but keep the nugget I gave you. Solomon Thomas was an A-gap with the first team. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what that means for Mozzie. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is White Cotton's crew. These are White Cotton's babies. You know what I'm saying? And Mozzie's here now. Mozzie was a first round pick, but you know how regime change go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just telling you that when you watching when you watching some of these camp, I feel you. When you watching some of these camp clips out here, you're gonna see Perion in A-gap. You're gonna see Solomon in A-gap. You'll see Mozzie out there in A-gap too, and you'll see Toia in A-gap. And in my mind, I'm just trying to make sense of it. I would love to just ask, but I haven't evolved yet quite so I can pull a coach to the side.
Hell yeah.
No, I can pull a coach to the side. But you know what I'm saying? But it's like just those are the guys that's out there in A-gap. Now it's gonna be a constant conversation that I'm gonna be looking at like throughout camp or whatever. But just from the couple of days I've seen, Solomon Thomas was the first guy out there in A-gap, and that may mean something. That may mean Mozzie got to find his way amongst this crew of guys here. You know what I mean? Like honestly, we're saying Mozzie, but Mozzie ain't guaranteed nothing. Cause look, think about this. Shotty came out and gave Luke a lot of credit yesterday. Oh, Schoolmaker looks good. Schoolmaker look good. But that don't mean Brevin ain't whooping his ass. Brevin whooping his ass. Bad Scott. Brevin is taking over tight end too. quickly, easily.
And that's
You know what I mean? So the coach may be speaking highly on Mozzie, but if you ask him, he gonna say some good shit about Solomon too.
Yeah, the Solomon Thomas thing is not. This isn't a knock on Solomon Thomas, okay? Because I like what he can provide from a 3-tech standpoint and pass rush standpoint under White Cotton. Y'all, Solomon Thomas is not a run stopper. Like that's Solomon Thomas is a motor guy, track you down guy, a quick upfield type of guy. But when it comes to dealing with big bodies and he can get moved, he's 294 or what have you. Like it is what it is. He's an undersized 3-tech, and you're saying he's being asked to do looks like to be a starter opposite of Osa. Yeah. That is an extremely small defensive line. And at the end of the day, Vach, you know this more than anybody because you were in them trenches. Sometimes it's just physics. Like sometimes, I'm 330 and I'm good. You 290 and you okay?
Over. Yeah.
I mean, this is more of an indictment on the state of the situation opposite of Osa more than Thomas. Because I think Thomas is an excellent backup 3-tech to Osa. But if you're telling me Solomon Thomas is going to have to play 65% of the snaps next to Osa, ladies and gentlemen, I'm concerned. So I hate to
at the end of the day, No, you ain't wrong. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's only 3 days in the practice. They on break today. We got time. There's always the guys that get cut from other teams that we can look at, practice squad type guys. That's heavier that we could look for. I honestly, the Cowboys have. The Cowboys have also shown you that if it's an emergency bad enough, they'll go send a pick for somebody. You know what I mean? So it ain't over, but that's just what we got right now in terms of these first 3 days. Yeah,
I'd be shocked if they don't bring anybody in. My gripe with them is what more do you need to see? Like what? I get it. Oh, let's get to camp and let's do that. But guys, it's right there in front of our faces. It's one of those positions that need to be addressed, man. Need to be addressed. But hey, bro, we'll
see what happens. Yeah,
you rock with me a lot longer than I had intended, man. Which I knew because we fam. But I appreciate you coming through, fam. And the $100,000, man, I still can't listen.
100 points, that's 100 grand.
We still doing a cookout. Because if we're doing a cookout, I'm coming through.
We are definitely doing the cookout, and we're gonna make Brian Bros pay for it because we got resources now. So we gonna figure it all out, my boy.
We're gonna put the Dewey. We're gonna put the Dewey on Brian too at this cookout. It's happening.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Shouts out to Crown.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I got a couple more days out here. We off today, but I will be here watching. What's today? Friday. Yeah. I'm gonna be watching Saturday, Sunday, and Monday's practice. Pads come on Monday and Sunday. So those are humongous days, and I'll be out here after that. And if you want to do it again after pad day, then we can run again. Yeah, let's wrap Monday. Because you'll get Sunday's padded practice. So I'll be on in the morning Monday. You get Sunday's padded practice. Let's definitely wrap on Monday about that. And this time I'll prepare for you to go to the nice background, you know what I'm saying, with the back screen. Well, and it's all good. Next time they probably won't even let me up there. They probably won't let me up there. But we'll figure it out. We're gonna find a spot and work. As you would say, we're gonna boogie, man. I appreciate you, bro. I love you to death, man, and so happy for your success. Yeah. And I know we always say this, but just getting started. For real. Just getting started. For sure. All right, bro. Sure, you know how it go. Hey man, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm about to go do some more radio, because they want, what I'm saying, because they rocking with us now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's got they rocking with it now. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I mean? It's got they love it now. They see where the bread butter now. Hey man, sometimes you just gotta get in the big game and drop 50, and then all right, cool. Well, come on. You know what I mean? Somebody go over and do that. Hey man, love you to pieces, man. Appreciate it. Whenever you need me, I'll be here. VOCHLONBARDI. Look, I know I got 100K, but y'all ain't got to stop subbing. Like if y'all want to give me 2, we can do that. So go over there and do it. Appreciate you. 100 points, that's 100 grand. Shout out to my bro, Vach Lombardi, joining the show, man. Unbelievable. And like I said at the start of this thing, before he came on, there's certain people I think that watch camp a little differently.
There's some that was watching camp to get the highlight plays, run the videos, et cetera, and that's cool. Like, that's fine. But I'm looking for like legitimate stuff that we can take away that'll help this team moving forward, as opposed to the cool highlight catcher, interception, et cetera, et cetera. I know Voch is gonna get that to me, man. So really cool to see him out there on the shows. Like I said, go watch the break. I mean, you don't have to watch the break now because he just basically gave you the rundown on Guyton. But what he did on the break in talking about Tyler Guyton was some of the best breakdowns I've ever seen on the break. And I've been watching that for over a decade or what have you. So that's my bro, Boston Barty. All right, one more thing from training camp that I didn't talk to Voch about, and then I'll hit the phone lines. Let me see. We talked to y'all for a few minutes. And it kind of revolves around the pass rush, I guess, right? Turnovers. And it's not just interceptions, which we already see social media going crazy with that, but it's again, we talk about the word intentionality. These guys are punching the ball out, peanut punch. You heard, I think it was Coach Shoddy talk about the triangle and getting your hands in there and knocking the ball down. And it seems like the Cowboys defense is kind of back to that we want the ball mentality. And if you guys remember, when Eberflus came in here, Flus didn't say, hey, this is what we want to do. Hey, we're going to try. This is how we intend to do things. Flus said, we will take the ball away. It's happening. And I believe him. I believe him because when he got hired here and we did the breakdown, we talked about a multitude of things, one of them being turnovers. And you go look at his history, it speaks for itself. This is his turnover rankings as a defensive coordinator or head coach when he's had total control of defense for a full season. I don't have 2024 here because he got fired like a little past halfway, I think it was. But even then, they were top 10 in the league in turnovers. Come on now. 10th, 5th. I'm sorry, 10th, 5th, 2nd, 14th, 5th. And then last year, 10th, if you want to include the partial season. Cowboys are going to get turnovers. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like that is something new for Dallas, y'all. Right? Like, if we were a team that just struggled to get turnovers year over year over year, I'd be excited as hell. As much as I love this, it doesn't move me. It doesn't move me overall, but it's good to see at camp, right? Remember I said, when there's positive things happen at camp, I beg fans not to act as if we're proclaiming the next best, great, this and that and this. I'd rather see good things happening than bad things, if that makes sense. I'd rather see iron sharpening iron. I'd rather see competition. I'd rather see them emphasizing these type of turnovers and hustle and motor and things like that than not. And I'd rather hear them talk about it than not. So I'm not proclaiming that this is going to be some record breaking, but they did set the bar high. They want 40 turnovers, right? And I want to say the Cowboys got close to that a few times and might have hit it under Dan. But again, go look at the history of Eberflus. I think they will be a top 10-ish team in turnovers. But I said this yesterday on the collective. If we're going to talk about rankings and whatnot, there's two rankings I care the most about them being elite in: scoring defense and yards per carry and run defense. Those are the ones that really will move me, Cowboys Nation, for this defense. And again, Flus's record does track that he has been a good overall run defense of coordinator. Only a handful of times in the top 10 in yards per carry, but many times in the top 10 in yards in general. One thing he always does, though, they're going to get interceptions. They're going to get interceptions. And I think that's going to happen this year again, maybe more than ever for Eberflus because of this pass rush. This pass rush is going to be nasty, man. We just have to be able to get there. Got to be able to get there, which means got to be able to stop this run. I feel like that's, until we get out there in the season, y'all can let me know how y'all feel. I don't think there's going to be enough that they can do at camp to really move anybody until we get to the season from that standpoint. Right? Now, again, we get the pads on and we hearing, hey, man, Mozzie turning the hell up on run defense. Akeem Basote going crazy on run defense. Jack Sanborn and Leofow, all these guys are just clamping the run down. I'm going to be happy about that. No doubt about it. Because I'd rather hear them doing well than the opposite. But I still don't think that it's going to move too many people until we get to the season, because the history has shown we just haven't been a consistently good run defense, let alone dominant run defense. And that may not happen this year. Thus, might need to rely on turnovers, might need to rely on pass rush to get you where you get to. Might need to rely on the offense getting up, kind of how we saw over the years with Dan Quinn. All right, so there's my kind of takeaways. Again, many more. I do this often. I don't list every single last thing because I want to hear from y'all. So let's hit the phone lines for a little bit and wrap to the squad. Let's start off with the original OG, who might be coming to a YouTube near you. B Bird, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Sky? How
What's
you doing,
good?
man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to have you back on, man. Feel like old times.
And now with camp back up and with the season, man, you'll be seeing me at the very least 3 times a week live, y'all. Just wanted to let y'all know that.
Great. Hey, so I guess when I see turnovers, I get a little startled or get a little off with that, because I know in 2023 we had a lot of turnovers, but you know, if you don't get those in the playoff, then what do they really do for you?
Exactly, bro.
I'm more of a 3 and out guy. I know it's boring getting 3 and outs, but can your defense get 3 and outs, man? And one more thing on that, and I think, you know, you have to earn the right to pass rush. If we can't stop the run, man, then, you know, it doesn't matter who you have on the edges. All the team's going to do is just run down your throat.
Yep.
So that's that with that. I don't know if you had anything to comment on with that.
No, I mean, you're spot on right there. And I said something similar yesterday on the collective where, like, the turnovers are so, I don't want to say fluky, but they fluctuate. Like, it's high variance. Again, you can have one week where you have 5 turnovers, and the next 5 weeks you only have 1, but that 5 turnover game keeps you in the top 6, 7, right? And we've seen, at least the history in Dallas, no matter how many times they've been tops in turnovers, they get to the playoffs and it doesn't happen. Like, people forget this. They were a top 10 team in turnovers in 2020. 2021, top 10. 2022, top 10. Like, so 23 or whatever it was. Like, they have been a top tier turnover team majority of Mike McCarthy's tenure. But you get to the playoffs, they don't get turnovers. They have 3 turnovers in the last 7 playoff games, y'all. So that's clearly is tough to do for them. But when it comes to run defense, that usually tracks. That usually follows. You go look at all these Super Bowl participants outside of the Chiefs, you're hard to find a run defense outside the top 10.
And I think, too, Sky, much as the league changes, if you can't stop the run, if you can stop the run and run the ball, you're going to win games, man. I know it's boring. It's not wide receivers. Doesn't do anything with the fantasy stats. But that's still going to always be the case, man. I don't know how far we go with changing the game. And, yeah, we do throw more in the league now. But at the end of the day, a team knows that you can't stop the run. They just won't throw. And how good is your pass rush if, you know, you're trying to defend the run?
We've seen that.
Oh,
Packers, Bills.
Packers,
yeah, we've seen that
Bills.
against us, yep.
Yeah. So the other thing I was going to say is the opening press conference, man, I was a little bit disappointed. I know everybody was. But I think if we ever can go in and get our business taken care of before training camp, as far as getting a player signed, just getting the business behind us, then that way we can focus on football. And then that way also the press conference can be about Shotty instead of being about the Joneses.
Come on,
I just don't get that, man, because Shotty's trying to bring something in here, but you're kind of undercutting him with all this other stuff and this contract talk. I often say that, and I'm going to continue to say this, and whenever I do start a show, it's going to be based off some of these things. But when you have the owner as a GM, man, he gets into his feelings with these negotiations. Other owners are out on a yacht or, you know, got their computer business they got to run, and they let somebody else run the football operations.
Yep.
That way, it's a split between those two. But you can tell that Jerry gets into his feelings about negotiations. Also, hey, I paid this guy that much. He ought to be doing this. He was hurt. Those are things that players aren't trying to do on purpose. But GMs that are not attached to the money, really, they just know that, hey, this is part of it. Hey, we got to make this thing work, and let's just move on, man. Let's not talk about that kind of stuff.
Well, some GMs are attached to the money, but owners usually are not. Like owners usually let the GM handle that. The GM and his money guy, they deal with that. But this is, as we've talked about for many years, B Bird, you cannot mix business with the football operations. And Jerry Jones is all about business. He loves it's like a thrill to him of the negotiations and the thrill to him of wanting to try the art of the deal and all this stuff. This is what he's bred from and born from, and he's brought that to the Cowboys from on all facets of the organization, right? Whether it be sponsorships, whether it be TV deals, whether it be contract negotiations. This he loves this. Don't think for 1 second, Cowboys Nation. He does not love this back and forth and this posturing and this delaying. This is what he is all about, even though at the end of the day, he's going to cave and pay Micah what he wants.
I don't know what and this is what I ask you and I'll get off. I don't know what this sends to the rest of the team. What I'm saying is this. If you have guys that play on a team X, and they say, hey, man, look, if you go here and perform well, they're going to come to you and it's just if you earn the money and they can see in the future that you can see to continue to go, you ain't going to have a problem with this organization. And I think what that does is tell guys that, hey man, look, if I go out there and perform, man, they're going to take care of me. But I think the opposite occurs too. And I think it brings something to your organization that, hey man, I could do everything right and they're still not going to do me right. They're still going to drag me. It's nothing that I can do. I saw somebody saying, well, you need to come and operate like Dak did. He came in and did everything. Well, look, he had to go through all that as a franchise quarterback. No other franchise quarterback has ever had to go through stuff like that. They usually, the GM comes hat in hand to a franchise quarterback, and because he knows that I'm tied, my job is tied to this guy. And so I have to treat him with kid gloves,
I don't think you're wrong. The saving grace is that this is the Cowboys. While it's not a good look, and I don't know that players are like, man, I don't want to play for this team because of how he handles contracts. Because if that was the case, then all of the big money guys that they do sign on the team would just be like, nah, I'm good. I'll go play somewhere else. I think the saving grace is location. It's the Cowboys. It's the branding. It's the star. It's a comfortable lifestyle living down there, and they just deal with it. Because again, at the end of the day, if you are one of those ones, you're going to get paid. Now, do the agents like it? No. But I don't think the players are really, they don't really care too much. Now, Micah, I said this before, he's a totally different cat. I knew when this came to this, he was going to be more vocal than anybody about it. And that's exactly what's happening. But at the end of the day, he still wants to be in Dallas, and it'll happen. He said, my time's coming.
Could you, I ask this question and I'll get off and let somebody else get on. Why don't we, I have a thought process of why do you think we don't sign guys early, like a Micah, a year before, like other teams do, get ahead of the curve, save some money, have to give up a little bit of, hey, we're giving up money now, but we're going to save some money and this guy's going to be a part of our team for years to come. So, hey, why don't we make a deal that's good for them, good for us, and we'll just move on. And I have an idea, but I'll get off the phone and I'll listen to you, man, and tell me why you think we don't do that.
All right, man. Appreciate you, B-Bird. I just think Jerry loves this. He loves dragging this out. It's not a coincidence to me that for what? I don't want to be wrong here, but I feel like when was D-Law's contract? Oh, no. Let's go beyond D-Law, Emmitt Smith. But no, recently, Des Bryant, I think, was the 2015, right? You're crazy if you don't think Jerry wasn't loving that whole thing. So you had Des Bryant, and Ezekiel Elliott was a few years later. D-Law, multiple years. Dak, multiple years. Zach Martin, C.D. Lamb, Dak, or again, now Micah. I truly believe he loves this. Like, I know it might be a low-hanging fruit answer because there's no other explanation to guys like CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, even at that time, D-Law, but if you want to go to Dez Bryant, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And if it is hard negotiations that is truly taking some time, because that happens sometimes across the league, you see some players hold out or what have you. Cool. But you don't see these owners in front of the camera saying and doing the things that he's doing. Let's not forget. Let me make sure I still got it. I might have took it out. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, I think I took it out. Lucky I took this thing out. But let's not forget what Jerry Jones said on the radio. And Vosh is no longer on the phone, so let me get that out of here. But Jerry Jones said, if they're talking about us, we're doing our job. Low-hanging fruit answer, but I think it's just that simple. Now, there are other organizations, and we see what's happening in Cincy. You don't want to be, compared to Cincy. We see what happened or saw what happened in San Francisco, but I never felt the same when there was the holdout with Nick Bosa. Just didn't feel that way. And it's happened. Holdouts happen. But when it happens not holdouts, but when these contract things happen year after year after year after year, it ain't the players. It's you. And then you'll get some people who put the cape on for the front office. Oh, well, owners, or not owners, the agents this, the agents that. Man, again, one time, maybe 2 times, 7 times, 5 out of the last 6 years or whatever. This ain't got shit to do with the agents, man. This agent thing is new. Y'all talking about agents this, agents that. He's been operating like this. Go listen to the stories. Dez straight up told you. Tony straight up told you. He don't want nothing to do with them agents. He's trying to corner you in a room and get you to make a deal right there. Because he loves this art of the deal. He's trying to win the deal. That's just that simple, man. He wants to win the deal. And then when he comes to find out, well, we really can't win this deal and we need this player, it's going to get done. It's a rush for this man. That's why he needs to detach himself from this, him and his son, to be honest, because you got him that has the rush of the art of the deal. Then you got his son who is truly the penny pinching mother. You know what I mean? Get them up out of here when it comes. This is why Cowboys can't go out and sign high-end free agents. Not saying you got to do it all the time, but they won't touch it. I digress. D Schiff, what's good, man?
What's up with this guy?
I'm good, brother. Long time.
Man, I know, man, B Bird, I know you from that 409 area too, man. So that'd be kind of cool to link up, man. I've always come in and out with those, but I just sometimes think how much content I follow and just want to add to the space, man. So man, B Bird, dog, that'd be cool. But nah, I'm gonna take it a little step further, bro. When I was listening to Jay Jones conference, bro, and he was just talking about, I'm not gonna slit my throat and I done dance with the devil, like just all of this extreme, dark, just extreme, bro. And I think bottom line with Jerry Jones and them, what he speaks on a lot of, what I realized was, you think about Dak, right? And the first 4 years he got paid maybe like $4 or $5 million total, if that, you know what I'm saying? So what I think he likes, because he said it himself, he says, why pay somebody before you have to? So in his mind, he feels like he's winning if he only has to pay that guy $2 million for that 4th year, versus doing the smart thing was business-wise, what you need to do is go ahead and lock your guy up so that it's not going to be more expensive for you down the road and you don't have so much money tied up. I mean, you're talking about how many contracts that we have Dak tied up, and he counted $40 million, $50 million toward the salary cap when he could have been counted 20, 30 had you played your numbers right.
Not just Dak. D-Law got tagged twice. Micah is playing on his 5th year option right now. Same thing happened with CeeDee Lamb. Let me answer Troy's question here. It's like, well, what's the problem if it gets done? Here's the issue that you run into. And this is the front office playing with you. They're just toying with you. The issue is you could save tens of millions of dollars over the years on the cap by doing these with the most obvious players. And you can say, well, Sky, doesn't matter. It gets done. Here's why it matters. Because that same front office that drags this out and wants to win the deal, art of the deal, is the same front office that then turns around and uses the cap against you and says, well, our hands are tied because of the cap. Well, maybe there will be more room to maneuver the cap if you got these deals done in an appropriate time. And it doesn't always have to be before you get to the end of the deal, but maybe get it done in March so you can then go shopping in free agency instead of using the cap against you. So when you ask, well, what does it matter? Well, that's one of the reasons why it matters, is that they are going to use cap to argue that that's why they're not going out and getting better players in free agency. When in reality, if you get the deals done with your high-end players sooner, whether it be after the third year or whether it be before free agency, you'll have more cap to work with.
And they got a weird loyalty aspect too. Like, hindsight is always 20/20. But man, like y'all are in that off. Like y'all work with doctors. Y'all should know. You should be able to know that Zach Martin is on his way out. So don't sign him to no extension. Don't let players like that hold you to gunpoint, where you got guys that you can take care of right now, and you're going to get 4 or 5 more years of prime play from them. And now we sitting here with dead money with a Zach Martin. So that's when you do things like that for a Zach Martin, it's you almost have to look at the contradiction in it, in which how you do your business. Second thing is when they're so hesitant because they feel as if guys are going to come back to the table 2 years within the contract. I mean, that's just a dumb reason for it, man. I mean, if guy outplays his contract, he outplays it, and you got to be able to handle that type of business and be prepared for it. So I know, he feels like if I sign these guys too early, 2-3 years from now, the market's going to boom, and I'd rather just wait until the market just squeezes it all out, and they're the last one, and you don't have 5 or 6, premier guys that's going to be coming up to where my player is going to come back and say, hey, I need to get paid like him now. When I've already paid you. And I can see that, if Dak would have signed a $32, $35 million deal versus them waiting to it to jump up to $40 million and say, all right, we're going to secure Dak, and he shouldn't be mad, and he shouldn't have to come back. But like you said, the thing is, man, I've been watching it from, like you said, with D-Law. You can remember Dak coming in, and when D-Law was messing with his contract, Dak was just young, motivated. But you see this wear on these players and their attitude and just the trust and the culture that, these guys are supposed to be your leaders, and you got them feeling like insecure. You know what I'm saying? You don't in a relationship, any important relationship, man. You're trying to establish a close relationship. You don't make people feel insecure, bro. You make them feel confident, and you make them feel secure. You know what I'm saying? So that's on that, man. Some more thing about running backs, man. I'm kind of getting a little bit more content with it, man. Just kind of see what's going on with Miles. Well, yeah. I mean, I ain't got no choice, man. But I mean, it does like, because I want to say, like, before the start of last year, man, we didn't think much of Rico. Like you would have said, Rico's gonna have a 1,000-yard season, and I know we don't really think much of 1,000-yard, just baseline 1,000-yard seasons. You need a little bit more than that, but I'm just thinking Miles with just a better roster. These running backs with a better Miles is like my horse in the race. But I just think with just having done it before, Rico had no experience, right? So Miles has at least done it before, had a championship pedigree, and he's been on bubble wrap for these past 2 years. Looking at some of the interviews he did in Carolina, he was clearly frustrated with having been told that he was going to be the guy, and then them just end up giving all the love to Chuba Hubbard.
Nah, don't say that. Don't say giving. Chuba took it. I'm always bring this up. Yeah, because people keep on saying, "Oh, Carolina running backs go to die." No, Chuba Hubbard took that thing, man. And you saw the life just leave Miles Sanders and how he ran. And the reason why Philly fans were over Miles Sanders because he didn't have great vision, and he got to what was it? He got to Carolina where you wasn't getting those gaping holes, and that vision stuck out, and that's why he wasn't good in Carolina. It wasn't because Carolina sucked, because Chuba Hubbard had over 2,000 yards and like 17 touchdowns, in the same time span. Yeah. So you just hope coming here a good scheme, You hope better blocking, and you hope better confidence that Miles Sanders can tap into the 2022. But I mean, what choice do we got but to run with this unit?
And I don't even need him to be 2022.
Yeah.
I just think he can do what Rico did for you. You know what I mean? And then you go with the committee approach. Like, we definitely don't have that workhorse. And you let Javonte or Deuce or whoever emerges, as capable backs in the room. I think we'll be all right. Pickens out there. You can't stack the box with 8. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised overall. But that's just my opinion. Of course,
I think it depends what your expectations are for me, because I expect this run game to be better by default, and I'm gonna keep saying it. It's been my mantra. How much better will depend on the talents of the running backs, because I think the scheme is going to be better. I think the play calling is going to be better. I think the coaching on the offensive line, this run game is going to be better because of them. I don't think it's going to be better because of the running backs. The running backs will benefit from all those other things. If they went out and addressed with more talent at the position, or a legitimate runner at the position, my feelings would be different. I think the run game will be fine. I'm waiting. I have to wait and see if it's going to be better than that. Is it going to be something where you can lean on it, right? You get to the playoffs, it's cold, or you're going up against a tough defense, and you need to be able to lean on the run game. That, to me, take my homer hat off, is something I just have to wait and see. I don't know if we're going to be able to lean on it just yet until they go out there and play some games.
Yeah, man, I think it'll be effective enough, man. I don't think you'd be able to argue with anybody saying that you got a top running back in the league. Like, that's what you want out of this, then you ain't gonna get that. But to be effective enough, and I mean, efficient, to have a quarterback, I want to be
efficient and complement the pass game this year, and then maybe next year you attack the running back position to where it's like, okay, now we can actually have an elite run game, not just a decent one or an efficient one, but a dangerous one. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. And I just got to remind myself going into this year, I felt like, man, this was a 2-year process anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's pleasantly surprising just to be at this point where you can kind of poke your chest out just a little bit more than when you were with the offseason. We were totally deflated. So I think as we've gotten some of these players and made some of these acquisitions, we've kind of forgot that we weren't really expecting anything from this team from when the season ended. You know what I mean? And so now we have expectations again, which is good. But I mean, it was always going to be like a 2-year process, man.
Speak for yourself. With Dak Prescott here, if he's suiting up, expectations is we better get our asses out of that first round, that second round. That just is what it is.
Man, I don't care
what they do in the offseason. They can sign out a single person. That's always going to be expectations in Dallas. Get to the Super Bowl or at least NFC
Championship.
Championship.
The run, Scott.
Oh, yeah.
We got to stop the run, bro. We got to stop it. But, man, appreciate you, man. Have a good one, bro. And how about the Cowboys, bro?
My man, D-Shift. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Pads come on Sunday. I think that's when we're going to really see the Mafa. Phil Mafa. Miles Sanders, I think, is in shorts is definitely going to be eaten up, right? Like he's got the shiftiness or what have you, the speed. I think he's going to look good. I think the pads come on is where we really want to see more. But again, I want to see it in preseason. I hope they let him play. Let all these running backs get going. I said this in one of the shows a long time ago. I personally think that Deuce Vaughn's the best runner. I think he's the best pure runner of the bunch. A lot of people have written him off already. He's not going to make the team. If it's truly open, I'm not writing anybody off from this room of who's going to make the team or be the guy in a stable, because nobody in the backfield is like that to the point where you can write somebody else off. I'm just not. So when them pads come on preseason games, let these veterans play. Let Javonte Williams play. Let Miles Sanders play. And then let these rookies also play as well. And I guess we got to put Deuce Vaughn in the veteran. This is his third season, which is crazy to think about. But it's wide open. You know, the saying is at quarterback, if you got 3 quarterbacks, you don't have one. It's not necessarily the same with running back, right? Because you want to have, it'd be nice to have 3 good running backs. But you don't even have a lead, like a legitimate lead guy. So I don't want to hear anybody being written off. All these dudes can do something in camp and preseason to be the number 1, 2, 3, or whatever. Somebody said Blue. Yeah, I know me. I love Blue. I actually think Blue has the potential to be your lightning to whoever the hell the Thunder is going to be. Again, that'll be up to Blue, right? Getting the playbook down and showing his worth. But I love what he can bring from a certain aspect of the team early on. Running wise, there's a lot there he's still going to grow from. But in the past game, I think he can be a weapon right now. Right now, if they use him that way. Let's wrap the Brandon from Frankly Football. What's good, B?
Scott, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm excellent. I appreciate you asking. We made it to Friday, y'all.
Yeah.
I
Brandon,
think I got
whispering, man. You got me feeling like we got whisper back. You good, bro?
Oh yeah. You
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Just it's real low, so I just make sure. But
hey man,
come on, man.
Oh, you a fool. All right, so Scott, I got 2 points that I wanted to address today. I want to get your opinion on. First, it's really easy to get excited about this offense.
Yeah.
We got all these new pieces around here. George Pickens is about. We got this rotation at running back, which personally I think that you really can't tell much about because the pads aren't on.
I agree.
So it's very easy to get excited on offense. But I think that you really got to dig to find ways to get excited for this defense. So that leads me to my first question. Have you heard any hype or any whispers or anything about any of these cornerbacks that are currently out there practicing?
Kyer Elam seems like he's, carrying over the momentum. Keemon Hall had a run in with CD Lamb, but Kyer Elam seems to be the guy right now, right? And Wanye Thomas doing some slot things, Israel Mukwamo doing some slot things, but yeah, I don't think corner has really been one of those positions that people are highlighting per se, unless there's an interception or whatnot. And I'm not out there
and that's so interesting
to
considering the
focus
state
on
of the position.
Yeah, so I can't speak on the down in, down out because I'm not there. But again, we just have Vacho and we talk about everything. We ain't even bring up corner, right? So that tells you something.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And speaking of running back, like I said, these guys are gonna make every run that they tagged on make it visually look like a home run anyway, right? So the only thing that we can really go on is, like the snap count. Do you got any? Have you been keeping track of the snap count for these running backs at all?
No, from what
who might be ahead at all?
On a collective, we talked to John and he takes a look at everything. He said that right now it looks like Javonte Williams is the lead guy based off of deployment. And then he said Miles Sanders not far behind, and there's everybody else. Those are his words. So from, if you want to call it a snap count, want to call it deployment, whatever, the term you want to use, it's Javonte right now, Miles behind, and then everybody else according to him. So that's kind of where we're at this moment. But I feel like, Brandon, preseason will sort this out.
Absolutely it will, because they're going to get a chance to hit people then.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see if those runs would actually be a 2-yard run or if it really would be a home run. So I agree 100%.
Yeah. I mean, look, we saw Kavontae Turpin come in his first year, house it twice, and they said, come on, young man, have a seat. We don't need to see any more of you. That may happen with somebody.
We're done. We're done.
Yeah. Miles Sanders go out there and he just crushing the first game or two. Come on, have a seat, Miles. That's good. That's all we need to see. Let's see if we can get Javonte and Blue and whomever else, going. That's why, to me, I've just been so hesitant to crown anything from the running back position until they can do real running back things.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I just think that running back is one of those positions that you can't judge at all. I think that, honestly, the best position to judge whether it's pads on or off is the trenches, O-line and D-line.
Interesting. That's an interesting. Can you explain on the pads off why? Because the pads off to me with trenches, defensive ends maybe a little more because more space to work with, but guards and tackles, man, I feel like I need them pads on, bro.
hand placement, foot placement,
technique,
momentum, things
fair.
of that nature. All of those things can be judged whether you got those extra few ounces on or not. So I think that if a guy,
it's not about the
like
ounces.
Tyler Guyton.
Wait a minute now. Wait. B, you play football. It ain't about extra ounces. It's about what you can do.
No. I'm just saying whether the pads are on or not, whether they are really. I just use the extra ounces phrase just to say that don't mean much if your technique isn't sound.
Sure.
If your technique
but
is
you
sound,
can look at
see it whether those pads are there.
Technique is everybody without the pads. All the units.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is you can't go 100% without pads in the trenches. Like, let me say this. I hate to use this guy's name, but Vince Wilfork, for instance. You think Vince Wilfork, with the pads off and pads on, is the same player? No. When them pads come on, he can run through your ass.
I give you that 100% because he was built like a meatball. I give you that 100%. He was built like a meatball, man.
Joe Toia, you think when them pads come on, he ain't gonna try to run down your chest to get to go? Yeah, I mean, and just other aspects of being more physical in the trenches. The pads definitely matter to me. But I agree though. Your explanation of technique, yeah, you can get that. You can get that from them, sure.
And last but not least, for every day of practice, I just give one meaningless piece of praise to Joe Milton. It don't even mean anything. But man, Joe Milton fast. It don't even mean anything beyond that, but man, Joe Milton fast.
Yeah, he wicked. I said this yesterday, man. I'm excited, and some fans hate that you bring up the backup quarterback, and I'm like, I don't know why. Like, there's a chance we're going to need it. I'm not talking to backup quarterback like some people. Oh, Joe Milton QB1, take that. That's not the conversation. Conversation for me with Joe Milton is that you finally got a legitimate talent to develop that, and you have them for 3 seasons to develop potentially. Like if it's 2 because of injury or they decide to move on from that, fine. But you at least have him under contract for 3 full off seasons to develop. And in case you do, that is your heir apparent, as opposed to years. Look, Rush was never going to be that heir apparent. Trey Lance wasn't going to be that guy. Ben DiNucci, right? Like none of these guys were truly guys that you believed in to develop. I think there's some stuff to Joe Milton. And for me, the most exciting thing, it's not even that his wicked arm. It's not that he's athletic. It's not that he can run around, Brandon. It's the fact that he improved mentally from college to getting his first shot last year with the against the Bills. You see it on film, but you also heard when you go dig and listen to some of the coaches and players that he improved from the film room, from the playbook standpoint, in his mind and what he's seeing. And that's huge, because if he can continue to do that, he has the tools, right? The rest will just come with more repetition and, developing his accuracy and et cetera, et cetera.
Great. I didn't even know that piece. So that's great to hear. That's excellent to hear. The maturation even in year 1.
Yeah, it was, look, go watch any of his damn tape in Tennessee. I mean, he was wildly inaccurate and just bailing out of the pocket. That wasn't their game anyway. Go watch preseason, with the New England Patriots, and then watch his game against Buffalo. I was like, whoa, there has been a maturation process within that pocket and processing what he's seeing out there from a quarterback standpoint that, look, you don't normally see it from when I say these type of quarterbacks, he was labeled as run around, just big arm, bail from the pocket. Like, he showed some improvement in that sense. So if he can continue to do that, that gives me more excitement than any of the backups the Cowboys had. Damn sure no damn Trey Lance. Y'all try to sell me on a guy with 300 pass attempts in 7 years playing football. Please give me a break.
Absolutely. I will leave you with the question, and I'll listen to your answer. If you're keeping score, who do you think is ahead in the battle between Turpin and Mingo? And I'll hang off and listen to your response. And before I go, can I plug myself?
Yeah. I'm about to say, I usually put Brandon Friend football. Shouts out to Chris too.
So everyone, if you like this sort of conversation, my name is Brandon. I have a YouTube channel, Frankly Football, where myself, my co-host, Set It Off Chris, you may have seen him in the chat box before. We have dope conversations like this. So head on over there. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. That sort of digital currency that we thrive on in these YouTube streets. Sky,
Appreciate
as
you.
always, I appreciate you, brother. You have a
Yes,
great
sir.
day, all right?
Yep. B is always B
Peace.
always been he's always smooth with it, man. Appreciate Brandon. Great question. Again, this is why I don't want to say hate. I don't hate it. Not being there, I don't know down in, down out. But it looks like Mingo's having a good camp. Would you say and Turpin's having a good camp? But let's go back, B, to my conversation I had about the wide receivers a few weeks ago. I don't think this is going to be 1v1 after CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I think this is more of a faction as opposed to a tag team or even a trio. Turpin is going to have his purpose. It's not to be a traditional wide receiver. He's going to do things that Mingo's not going to do and cannot do. Mingo is going to do things that Turpin cannot do. So I don't even know that there's one up this, one up down. Turpin is going to be a part of this offense. You see him running. He's the more versatile guy. But Mingo, I think if something were to happen to Lamb or Pickens, he and Tolbert are your traditional receivers to step in. They're your traditional wide receiver threes. So maybe it's a cop-out answer, but I don't necessarily think that it particularly matters because Turpin is going to have a part of this offense that Mingo's just isn't going to have. Unless Mingo go out there and he's looking like the next coming of Randy Moss, Turpin's going to be involved. But the reason why you can't send Turpin down the field and keep throwing him the ball constantly, you saw what happened yesterday. He's trying to jump and catch and unnecessarily dropping the rock. He has troubles with drops, where that particular route is something that Mingo can do a lot better than. Cop-out answer. I know you're looking for either or, but it'd be different if you said Tolbert and Mingo as opposed to Turpin and Mingo. It's different things. You know what I'm saying? Different things. I got a couple more. 725 and 346. Let's get 346 in first. I think this is Troy.
Yeah, it is.
Good morning,
What you say there, Scott?
What's happening?
Good morning. Yeah, just in the sense of the wide receivers, I'm hoping that we use the body type and their skill set against the opposition. So I hope we finally do that. You use those guys to play against what we might think the defense is going to do, and then attack them that way.
Yeah. So something like we said this before, wide receiver 3 by committee, right? Like 1 week, hey man, if you got a tiny nickel guy and we've seen he struggle with big slots and you throw Mingo in there, you know what I'm saying? Or they'll probably end up throwing CeeDee Lamb in the slot. But you know what I mean? And if you got a guy who struggles with the twitchier guys and hey man, we're going to get Turpin involved more, or if you got slow linebackers, maybe we get him on some over routes or wildcat or whatever. So you're basically saying game plan should determine how these auxiliary wide receivers are used.
Exactly. And even packaging those guys together too. You know what I'm saying? A Turpin with a Mingo. You know what I'm saying? A big guy like that, you know what I'm saying, coming around, you know what I'm saying?
Check this out. You set them up, right? Like we know that Mingo is big on blocking, right? So you get Mingo in there and maybe you get Turpin on a toss and Mingo's out there blocking. And maybe you get Turpin on a handoff, Mingo's out there blocking. Third play, you get a play action of Turpin. Now Mingo's on an over route or a shallow route. You get the ball in his hands quick, and now he's using that yak ability we saw in Ole Miss. So yeah, I'm with you.
And I'm hoping they're viewing it just like that, Sky, and you know what I'm saying? We've been talking about it for so long. Can we finally get the coaching in here to use these guys to their maximum ability? You know what I'm saying? So just let us see it.
Yeah.
But my main concern was people are concerned about us defending the run. And I don't think the middle of the defense is going to be our problem. I don't think it has been our problem. I think it's more so the edge. Are our linebackers fast enough to shoot those gaps or to assist our corners in the edge guys? You know what I'm saying? Because these guys have been making the corner. I was saying to myself, I said the offensive linemen on the opposition are beating up our defensive linemen and beating up our linebackers. And then I said the running back is beating up our corners. Our corners are going to have to be ready to fight, man, because they're gonna have to get off some of these blocks when their receivers turn over and are just blocking us. Get off of it, man, and assist, and these linebackers are gonna have to get to the edges, because you know what I'm saying, these running backs are coming ready to fight. They you know what I'm saying, get punched in the mouth, man.
Yeah, this scheme is.
Look at that boy Aaron Jones, how he did us.
Yeah, this scheme is going to require the nickel corner to really be a guy that is an extension of the run defense. And yeah, for years we've seen them. Oh, Trayvon Diggs on one tackle. We run right at Trayvon Diggs at. All right, and for years we've seen
doing it.
You know, linebacker play. And here's the problem. You know, and I said this months ago. When the Cowboys don't truly address the interior of the defensive line, because look, I know you said the edge, and edge is important too, but let's just stop playing games. Go look at the elite run defenses. They all have a legitimate tackle or tackle rotation. That just is what it is. Because that is the anchor of the run defense that helps keep those linebackers clean, that helps create alleys for the safeties, and et cetera, et cetera. However, it is a mentality. It is a philosophy, right? That has to be who you are as a defense and as an organization. We all often talk about offense of having identity. Well, you got to have that defensively too. And when you change defensive coordinators so many damn times, and your front office really doesn't care about a specific aspect of your defense, the mentality becomes what? We'll just get by with it. Let's get upfield. Let's rush the passer. It's all about all that. So what do? You could dress it that way. You bring in the Nick Haydens of the world. You bring in the McLeans, and I like McLean, but you bring in these type of guys instead of trying to get a dude or signing a dude to anchor the middle. So if you don't have that type of talent up front, then you damn sure better have linebackers that are instinctual. You damn sure better have linebackers that can read and react better than the guys that you've had over the years. You damn sure better have real linebackers, right? Not guys with neck injuries, right. Not safeties playing linebackers. So when you compound all of this, corners who are a corner or multiple corners who that's not their game, right? And tackling. Defensive line who does not complement each other from a run standpoint. Scheme that says get upfield, play the pass, play the run to the pass. Linebackers who aren't instinctual, get downhill, and can mitigate not having defensive tackles to help. That is a recipe for one of the most inconsistent run defenses probably in the last decade in the league.
It gives opposition a roadmap, man, to consistently beat you if you're not going to commit to that. But I was looking at it. I was thinking, with the squad that we have, it seems like they putting the strength with an auxiliary player in the middle. You know what I'm saying? We'll have Osa and I hope. Well, in the beginning, I want them to go strength on strength. You know what I'm saying? Put two strong guys there in the middle. But you know what I'm saying? As the game progresses, you know what I'm saying? Mix that up. Put a strength coming in the second stream with an auxiliary guy that's gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna help out in the middle so we can stay fresh with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go strength on strength and then put two auxiliaries in and then we're getting whooped in the middle. You know what I'm saying? What's the guy that we got off of free agency?
Thomas?
Looks like that. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Him and Osa are kind of like that same kind of guy to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And get them an auxiliary. You know what I'm saying? Get an auxiliary like a Mazi or a Thoia. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? As an auxiliary off of those guys. And then we on the edge. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're gonna miss as far as getting to the playmaker, but at the same time,
I think edge-wise, I hate to say this because D-Law, you're going to miss the consistency D-Law brought there, but I do think year two Nealon, I think Sam Williams can do some good things out there. I think Micah gets too much flack. I think he improved in how he defends the run from an individual standpoint. Hopefully, we get Sam Williams take that next step there. I think from a discipline standpoint, they'll be fine there, but I'm more worried about individually on the interior. You'll see Osa get upfield. Osa's going to have a fantastic year. I think this defense is made for Osa. But who's the guy next?
Are they going to be mixing it up, Sky? With how are they going to be mixing it? 4-3, 4-2? How are they going to be? How does that work out with this team? Are they going to be mixing it up?
Eberflus likes to do four down linemen, but you'll see some 5-man looks with Micah standing up. You'll see some 5-man looks with Izaraku standing up. Hell, shoot, Dante, Sam, like these defensive ends. When it's pass rush time, they finna get out there. But historically speaking, Eberflus wants to rush 4, drop 7, and play some umbrella coverage. And that's why they get a lot of interceptions. He brought it up on the Doomsday podcast. He said, "Hey man, my teams get a lot of picks because we're a vision defense. You know, we're all looking at the quarterback. Think of it as not necessarily as complicated or good as what they got going on in Philly, but again, a vision defense, all eyes on the cue. Everybody is disciplined in their areas. That's kind of what Flus wants to do and get after it with the 4 rushers, right? We're not going to blitz a lot. I don't think that's going to happen.
I'll say this in closing to you, Sky, and I've enjoyed the conversation. To Coach Flus, teach these guys, man. Like they say, you gotta earn the right to rush the passer.
You do.
Well, for the back end, you gotta earn the right to intercept the ball. So you gotta stop that run, man.
And I think the difference between him and Dan Quinn is that is who Flus is. Where Dan Quinn, he might have brought it up. He might have said that we got to earn the right, but in reality, that wasn't the DNA of his defense. Again, I bring up the turnovers with Flus, right? Historically speaking,
his was just get after the.
But if you look historically at Eberflus's schemes, and he said this again. He said this when he came. He said we're going to stop the run, and we're going to take the ball away. Like, that's what he wants to do. It's not, hey, remember Rod Marinelli? He said, we're going to play the run to the pass. I know he comes from under Rod Marinelli. Doesn't mean he's doing every single thing Rod does. You ain't hearing Flus saying, yeah, we're going to just rush the passer, and if the run comes by. No, we're going to stop the run, and we're going to take the ball away. So maybe Flus can do some things that Clayton Adams can do where, yeah, this defense might be better against the run by default because of the scheme. But how much better would it depend on the players? There could be a little bit of that too.
Man, we better get this cornerback room right because I think they hold a linchpin to everything. I truly do. But I appreciate it, Sky, and man, I'm so ready for the season, man. It's going to be exciting. We're going to see so much content on it, man. I mean, through every aspect, we're going to be able to see the NFC East this year too.
Season turning up, man.
Well, no, not even the. I call it the NFC Cowboys because these guys pinching everything from us, copycatters. But all right, buddy.
I appreciate you, Troy. All right, last one here. Let's get out 725. Good morning. What time is it? Ooh.
Sky, what's going on, buddy? This is your boy Machiavelli out here in Las Vegas.
Machiavelli, what's good?
Man, I was going to double down, let you know that Deuce is going to lead the league in rushing.
Ooh.
And
let me tell you something right goddamn now. If Deuce lead the league in rushing. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, listen, at least you got a sponsor in the house, like you guys say.
He do.
What I'm going to say is this, dude. What I'm going to say is this, guy. Man, if you go back and look at his first year, everyone acts like he had a horrible year. The dude got the ball like when they weren't even trying to get yards, or like when there was no like the third string offensive line would be in there.
Oh yeah,
and they're trying to run the clock out.
Yeah, let's keep it a bean. He never got a fair shake. Yeah.
Nah. And it just, I still go back and watch the K-State highlights, and I just say to myself, there's no way that this kid doesn't have some talent still. He's just impossible to find behind that line, and I see him. I see his size as being his strength. I never see him getting knocked back. I see him finding the little creases and getting extra yardage when he runs between the tackles, and then he finds those little holes that guys can't get through. And he's so hard to tackle because we're used to a higher center of gravity. You play football. I played my whole life through junior college, and to hit somebody that small is so hard. Man, I think that he can carry the ball, and be your starter and have Blue or somebody come in and be the Tony Pollard. I really believe that he could be that as small as he is. I still think that he's man-sized. He's just short.
I think his man size is crazy. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be. You think he's man-sized? Like what?
Well, Nate Newton said that. Nate said, "Look, I walked up behind him.
Hey,
he looks
Nate,
like a normal-sized dude. He's just short when he's sitting on his chair."
Wow, like Nate said he not. What they call it? Snack size. Come on, Nate. What are we doing? But he man size. That's crazy.
I'm saying he's not a small dude.
I know. I'm messing with
He's not a little tiny guy. You know, he's
Man,
thick.
size is
He's
crazy.
not.
I think he's the best. I think he's the best pure runner. I do. I look, objectively speaking, because I am biased to the short squad as a fellow short king myself. Let's just be real, y'all. Whether it be pros, I guess the pros that's kind of cheating because you doing it in the pros, you're doing the pros. But just watch. Running back's not hard to tell. You can tell if somebody got good vision. You can tell if somebody's elusive. You can tell if they have speed. You can tell X, Y, Z. Name me a back that runs the ball purely better than Deuce Vaughn on the team. I don't think there's one that runs the ball purely better than Deuce Vaughn. Can press line of scrimmage, is shifty around the line of scrimmage, go inside, outside. I think he can do that. But his size, while you say is a strength, is also a reason why he better damn sure be that dude running it, because he's not a guy you want out there blocking a whole lot, and he's not a guy that's going to play special teams. And historically speaking, in the history of the league, or at least last quarter century of the league, you're not going to find 5'6", 170-pound lead backs toting the rock 20 times a game. You might find a Maurice Jones-Drew, 5'6", 220. You know, what they call him, the muscle hamster. Remember my man from Tampa, 5'6", 220. Yeah, I mean, you might find those types. Doug Martin, yeah. But what you usually find with those type of dudes is more along the lines of, you really want Deuce to be his mentor. Help me out, y'all. Former K-State Eagle, San Francisco, Darren Sproles.
Yeah.
You want him to be Sproles. Sproles wasn't a guy that they say, yeah, we're going to get him the ball 15, 20 times a game. Sproles was arguably one of the greatest complimentary backs in the history of the game. If Deuce can be that,
Scott, I love you, but I disagree, man. I think that he's a running back that needs rhythm. Like, he needs more carries to actually be better in the game.
Well, let me tell you this right now. If my back needs, I hate that term, by the way. Like, I'm over that. Like, if that's what he needs, I don't want that player on my team. If I need to give you the ball 20 times just to get you going, I don't want that guy, man. Not in this day and age.
It's not just to get you going, but running backs do get into a rhythm. They do see things better when they get more of a chance.
That's fair.
To keep going. When they don't go in there for just 2 or 3 plays a game. Yeah. When they actually can see what's going on.
When you say complimentary back is not 2 or 3 plays a game, bro. Darren Sproles is one of the greatest complimentary backs of all time. You're saying
I don't think he's complimentary.
Well,
I don't think he's complimentary. I think he's the starter.
Well, that's fine. Well, you could be a starter and be a complimentary back. Like, you could be, you're a compliment to.
I'm just saying. I think he's 15
you
times
think he's
a game.
A workhorse?
I think it's like, I think somebody just mentioned that the other day. I think all these terms are kind of, I don't like the whole workhouse, bell cow, and all that. I think that he can carry the ball. He can carry it 12 to 18 times a game for sure. I mean, I think he can carry it. I don't think you overdo it. I don't know. I just think that he could. I just want to see him get a chance. That's all. I mean, these dudes, you would think after the lack of talent that we had at running back, you would think this guy would have got at least a half at one point in a 7-10 season, one half.
Yeah.
But he's never gotten a chance. So I just want to see it.
I wonder what it is, and again, I think part of me knows some of it, which is, again, his side. You can diminish it. Right? Like, you can use it for his strength, his size, because there is some strength to it. You can't see him. But then there is real life NFL football that comes into play where you can't keep him out there on third downs to pick up blitzes constantly. You can't ask him to go play special teams unless he's going to be a returner, and you don't have that. So there is real life football that comes to it, which is why I go back to, if he's going to be the lead back that you say, damn it, he better lead the league. Like, he's going to have to be that type of back. You're saying he can, right? I don't know if it's tongue in cheek, but you're saying he's that type of back. I think he's the best runner on the team, and I'm with you. Give him a shot. But there is real life aspect to, okay, there's other things to this thing that could be the reason why he's not out there full time in the pros. This ain't college, right? But and hold on. I feel like you're disrespecting Darren Sproles. Oh, I feel like you're disrespecting Darren Sproles, bro. How old are you?
52.
Come on, man. You don't goddamn well.
I watched Tony Dorsett play.
So I shouldn't even. Come on, man. if he's Darren Sproles, we hit the
here's
jackpot.
my main thing is this, guy. I'm just frustrated with, like you were, with the coaching, with our Dallas overall. Okay, we're a drafting team, but we skimp on the skill position, the skill coaches, the coaches okay, let's get all these young guys in here, but let's be cheap about the coaches that we bring in. Let's be the cheapest in the league at the So for once, we finally got some real coaches in here. We got a real offensive line coach. I think that last year, I think it was a joke. That's why I almost wonder, is Mozzie maybe just not as – they always say it takes 3 years. Well, hell, I think we've had horrible coaching for him for the first
coaching
two.
matters.
Dan didn't do him no – so, I mean, maybe Mozzie will be way better than we think. Like, I really think last year was like – I respect Zimmer. I just think that when you put guys on a 1 year show me, I think they were all like, screw you, Jerry. I don't think there was no coaching going on last year.
Well, I'm not gonna do that to Zim. I think Zim tried his damn best. Zim even came out and said he was handicapped because one of my problems with how the Cowboys have done things defensively with this turnover year after year, not having a farm system of coaching to keep continuity, is you get crossovers of schemes, and when you get crossovers of philosophies, you get crossovers of players that don't fit that. And I think they actually did better than Dan Quinn with Mozzie Smith, right? They tried to get him to play back.
You're right.
Yeah.
Guy, you're right. It was I meant that more towards the offensive side. I really think that Guyton was out there on his own. I think that Cooper Beebe was actually on his own.
Oh my
and
gosh,
I think that this
offensive line,
I just think this offensive line
doing?
is going to be unbelievable this year. I really think we're on our way finally.
Hey, I don't think you're too far off on that. I ain't quite ready to stamp. I've been saying it'll be better, but man, maybe it's just training camp, it's Cowboys football out there. But and maybe I'm looking at the future of the offensive line. But I look at 4 young players. 3 of them, I think, already have the talent to be high end at their position, and then you got a guy who's a wild card in Tyler Guyton who's talented, but if he puts it together, I'm excited for the future of the O-line, but I do think they'll be better this year.
From what your boy Voch was saying, I mean, you can only say so much with no pads, but the fact that he's not leaning over, the fact that his technique is already, it looks like 10 times better, it just goes to show you that, I mean, come on, Mike Solari, this team, if anything, they probably went backwards last year. And I think that now that we have a real offensive line coach, I think that we're gonna see them just go leaps and bounds. Like I just really believe that. Okay, and let's just say my boy Deuce doesn't make it. My next question is, can Maffa be Montgomery, and can Blue be Gibbs?
Yeah, I mean, well, let me say this about Montgomery, man. He one of the best in the league in making you miss in different ways, whether it be around you or through you. Like he forces so many missed tackles. I would love if Maffa was that. I don't think he has the quickness and shiftiness of David Montgomery, who was once a lead back. Now he's complimentary. See what I'm saying here? Complimentary back. It's a guy who maybe starts off, but he's a complimentary guy. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Him and what's the name complement each other. Neither are these workhorse old school backs. I personally think, bro, that you need 2 backs in this day and age, unless you got the Derrick Henrys of the world, the Saquon Barkleys, and Deuce ain't that. But I digress. Can Maffa be the bruiser? Sure, I sure he can. Would you say Blue be Gibbs? I don't think he's touching Gibbs from a runner standpoint, though. Pass game, no, I think he's one of the best pass game guys to come out. So I'm not going to go there yet with the Gibbs thing. But I get what you're saying, Thunder Lightning.
Right. I'm over here just hoping any which way I can get it for the running backs. I hear you. I would like to play. I'd like to play a team as weak as we were against the run last year, and I'd like to see Lipke blocking for Maffa, and I'd like to see some kind of power rush game, about 8 plays in a row, just straightforward. You get like 8 yards of carry. I'd love to see that.
You finna see power. you finna see it though. I think with some creativity to it, and I think we'll be excited about the how. Right, we're going to be excited about. Well, I will be. I'm gonna be excited about the how. If the running backs can give us something to be excited about, after they get the rock, woo-wee.
A different running game, and no more just run up the field and turn around. I think we're in for a great season.
We're in for a treat. Hey, appreciate the call, man. Good stuff.
All right, Scott. Love you, man.
Much love. Man, felt good talking to y'all today. Felt good getting back in the swing of things today, man. I'm serious about the schedule. With camp obviously here, season coming. I'm still debating on. I talked to Tuai about this because y'all finna get content obviously every day, but live wise, I kind of want to go every day, but I think I'm gonna space it out and do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuai in our show, we might go twice a week. There'll be videos, guest appearances. We got a lot going on. Again, if you happen to miss the show we did the other day with Mina Kimes, please make sure you guys go and check that out. I don't want to stamp anything, but there's a possibility that Mina will be joining the show throughout the season. Not every week, that'd have been amazing, but we might get her more often during the season. So continue to go over there, run that up, and share that thing. But from a live standpoint, I'm gonna be with y'all a lot more often during the season, and camp, to be honest with you, and camp. I saw something in here. Where'd it go? This is true, TB. He said even Justice Hill compliments Henry well. Al said we could easily sign. There it is. The crazy thing is Gibbs and Montgomery can both be lead backs on different. Montgomery has been. Right? Like Montgomery was a starter. He was a lead guy. And what happens when you give him a compliment or he becomes part of a tandem and he has a complimentary role? He's even better. Because the problem, now, if I'm not mistaken, in Special K, and correct me if I'm wrong here, wasn't he a little injury, kept getting injured, dinged up in Chicago? And I'm not saying you coach scary. But in this day and age, man, 17 games, playoffs, these guys are stronger, faster, more physical, just because of the progression of the body and training. I think it's extremely important, man, to have multiple backs and run multiple backs. There is the Derrick Henrys and Saquon Barkley's and Christian McCaffrey's, but look at Christian. Like, as good as he is, would it be such a bad thing to be like, hey man, instead of 25 touches a game for Chris, let's bring that down to 18 and get 12 touches to the other backs? When you took Tony Pollard in 2019, Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard should have been complimentary backs to each other. You ran him to the ground. And as much as we love Zeke then, Zeke from a talent standpoint wasn't Saquon Barkley from a talent standpoint. Doesn't mean he wasn't as good in college and the pros early on. But what Saquon can do and what Derrick can do and what Christian McCaffrey can do from a talent standpoint, skill standpoint, it translates over time because of just how high end they do these things. Where it wasn't hard to look at Zeke and say, and then obviously look at how he took care of himself and say, oh yeah, either we're going to have to get the best out of him in his first 4 to 6 years, or after year 3 or 4, we better start helping him out to take care of his body better. So by year 8, he is still efficient for this team. Never happened that way. They ran him into the ground. They refused to use Tony Pollard more often, which I thought would have helped Zeke be a longevity a little bit more. So I'm all about multiple backs. Y'all know how I feel. Tandem or legitimate committees. And a legitimate committee right now is Tampa. They have 3 guys that touched the ball over 60 times last year, I think, something like that. I agree, Special K. He said it was smart to draft Gibbs to take on some of the load. I wanted us to draft him. He fell to us, be our lead back, but the Lions did something the organization wouldn't. Went up and got him. I remember that year. Me and Foots were talking. We was like, hey, look, y'all can talk about first round backs all you want. Cowboys picking in the 20s. If Gibbs or Bijan Robinson is there, what are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? Let me get to these super chats real quick. Y'all show some love today, man. 25. Let's go. We got B Bird earlier in the show. He joined us.
Super chat.
He dropped 5 and just said, "What up, Sky? What's happening, brother?"
Super chat.
Dro dropped 5 and said, "Did Joe Cuzzo, Terrence Steele, get hurt by the bus?" Oh, did your Cuzzo, Terrence Steele, get hurt by the bus? Jerry threw him under. You don't. That's another thing, man. The way they move, bro, weird. But yeah, he threw Terrence under the bus and was it Diggs where he's like, "Hey, look what happened when we signed him early." Like, look, you can have that thought process. We all have that thought process when you miss on a signing or something like that. But to hear the owner say that publicly, that's kind of wild. Like, what are we doing?
Super chat.
Shouts out to the Coleman Show. He dropped a dub twice. Appreciate you, bro. He says, tough situation because it's his job. Talking about Diggs, I think. It's his job, but at the same time, it's his personal health. So I kind of leave this one alone. All we can do is pray Diggs understands the importance of him getting back on the field. I'm with you there, bro. I thought if you want to be frustrated, Jerry, about how he handled the treatment a few years ago, because it wasn't just Jerry. There was legitimate issues from a training staff and him attacking it from a working hard standpoint. And I don't know, maybe mentally he was down, maybe whatever, but that was real. I don't think anybody would dispute there was an issue originally. And I think this is why he's actually attacking it harder. You know, I'm tracking this or whatever. I'm in Florida. I think there is a deliberate way in how he's handling it, because I think he even knows, yeah, it might have not went as smooth as it needed to be here with the organization. But I'm with you. That's a touchy subject, because if it helps him get on the field, if he comes back and he's playing well, it's whatever. But I think this stems from what happened a few years ago, and Jerry's just being petty. He dropped another dub and said, "Now seeing our Cowboys run pistol will be exciting. Curious about personnel on our pistol package. We can use many different personnel in pistol. So much to be excited for when thinking about the new offense." I agree, man. I'm telling you, something about George Pickens, I don't want to call it the Infinity Stone, but something about bringing him in just aligned things right. It was a little herky-jerky, right? George gets here and it's right. Everything just kind of seems to fit from a weapon standpoint. But yeah, when it comes to pistol, I mean, any formation really, Coleman. Any formation the Cowboys run out there, they have complementary, or that word again, complementary pieces or auxiliary pieces to complement your studs. It is an exciting time. But don't forget why, to me, the most important reason why it's exciting is because of this guy. It's not like the Cowboys haven't had cool little weapons. Some of these dudes we had on the team, but they weren't using them correctly. I think Shotty's going to use them right, man. I think Shotty's going to use them right. You can say Sky drinking the Kool-Aid, but damn it, drinking the Kool-Aid. Trayvon dropped 10. Appreciate you.
Super chat.
He said, Vach out here about to test his lateral quickness, talking crazy about the trash lineman. Shouts out to my bro Vach Lombardi, the $100,000 man.
100 points, that's 100 grand.
Came through earlier, dropping some amazing knowledge on camp in general, but the trenches is what we kind of focused on when he came through. If you missed that part of the show, what my guy say? Running back, Jey Uso. And then, we got two more.
Super chat.
Coleman dropped another 5. He said, great show featuring Vach. Respect, Sky, and always the knowledge is recognized and received. Thank you, man. He said, DC 4L. Man, y'all knowledge too. Man, I'm still learning. I tell y'all this all the damn time. I'm always asking questions.
Super chat. And
then INC dropped 2 and said, great show. Appreciate you for all the super chats here. Calls were great. Like I said before, these type of shows are going to be a little longer when I'm not on consistently. But as we get going, there'll be more intentional so that people can run this thing back. Y'all know how. If you've been here, you know how I get down in the season, right? You know how I get down. This thing runs like a well-oiled machine. Not saying these type shows don't, but y'all know what it is. So make sure y'all stick around. If you're new here, subscribe. It's going to be a fun season. As long as the Cowboys don't, give us a 2020 or a 2024 type season, it'll be fun. Even if they do, I know what I say. Win, lose, or draw, I'm here for it all. And that's been my time.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
Gotta get going. Going to see Fantastic Four with my son today. Excited for that. I'm seeing some good reviews. Already checked out Superman. I liked it. Some people ain't enjoy it, but I did, man. Make sure y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Be safe. Pads on Sunday. Monday, we coming right back at this thing. We out here. Peace.